11-0 rout. Line drive, right center field. They're going to wave it. The Phillies win it in the night. All roads lead to Citizens Bank Park in South Philadelphia, where inside, Phillies faithful hoping to celebrate a second consecutive National League Championship. And tonight's TBS coverage of the National League Championship Series is presented by Budweiser. It's do or die for the Dodgers in Game 5 as the Phillies try to close out this series. They have a 3-1 series lead. And good evening, everybody, with Ron Darling, with Buck Martinez. I'm Chip Caray. What a finish in Game 4. Jimmy Rollins cleared the bases, drove home 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Dodgers were 1 out away from a 2-2 series split. Now it's 3-1 in favor of the Phillies, Ron Darling. And tonight the Dodgers will send Vicente Padilla to the mound to try to save their series and their season.
Well, think about Padilla. He started August 27th was his first start. He's now their ace here in the postseason. And why has he been their ace? Well, going down the stretch in the regular season, he was undefeated, going 4-0. But he's turned it up a notch in the postseason. He's gone 14 in the third innings, only given up an earned run. And where Pedro was the story maybe in Game 2, he was the dominant pitcher. He will have to be that dominant pitcher and ace and go deep into the game if the Dodgers don't want to go home.
And the Dodgers, Buck Martinez, along with the Mets, led the National League in batting average of this year. You wouldn't know that in this series head-to-head because the Dodgers haven't been able to out-hit Ryan Howard yet.
No, they sure haven't, Chip. Ryan Howard has really gotten big hits for his ball club early in ball games throughout this series. When you look at what Ryan Howard has produced, he's produced nearly as much as the entire Dodger team. 2 home runs and 8 RBIs so far in the series. He has 4 extra base hits. They've got to figure out a way to shut down Ryan Howard. The Dodgers offensively, when Rafael scores a run, during the regular season they went 51-22. He's 2 for 16 in this series, and he hasn't scored yet. He's got to get on base.
Yeah, Cole Hamels hopes to keep Rafael Furcal in check tonight and end this series for the Phillies. Dodgers hope to win and force a Game 6 back in Los Angeles. Beautiful night here in Philadelphia. Starting lineups for Game 5 coming up in a moment.
The National League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect combination of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the Great American Lager.
Well, what a difference the weatherman has made in this series. Frigid temperatures when we first came to Philadelphia tonight. An absolutely perfect baseball night for Game 5 of our series. Here's the weather, 63 degrees, partly cloudy the forecast, and very little wind to speak of as Cole Hamels and Vicente Padilla square off here at Citizens Bank Park. Time as always to check in with our colleague Craig Sager tonight. Craig?
Well, I was standing in front of Manny Ramirez's locker before the game when Rafael Furcal came over and Kinley said, "Why are you talking to him? He gave up on us. He was in the shower before the last game ended." To which Manny, with a big smile, turned and said, "Hey, I was just showing confidence. I thought we had the game won." Manny, being Manny, is often expressed with him saying, "Hey, it's just a baseball game." I asked him tonight, down 3-1, if this is just a baseball game. He paused. He said, "It's just a baseball game, but a game that's very important for us to win." He then turned to Ronnie Belliard's locker, got out some cologne, sprayed himself, sprayed me, sprayed everybody around. I go, "What is that?" He said, "I did before Game 2 and we won. I'm doing it again." So I found out firsthand that Manny being Manny also means Manny being superstitious. Chip?
All right, Craig, Dodgers will take any kind of help they can get. They've got to win tonight to keep this series alive. And tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Budweiser. Buck mentioned the struggles of Rafael Furcal in the leadoff spot. He'll be followed by Ronnie Belliard batting and playing second. Andre Ethier is in right field with Manny Ramirez, the Dodger cleanup man. Matt Kemp is in center. James Loney again at first. Russell Martin hitting seventh. Joe Torre telling us he's hitting a little better than Casey Blake right now. He's batting eighth. And Vicente Padilla pitches and hits ninth against Cole Hamels.
Well, Cole Hamels was 1 game under 500 for the season during the regular season, and he had his best game in Dodger Stadium when he threw a 5-hit shutout against the Dodgers.
That was way back in June. You can see what he did in game 1 of this series. Fastball, changeup, and curveball. Primarily fastball, changeup. He throws the change to both sides of the plate. That's very important, and he needs to mix the curveball in a little more effectively. We didn't see many breaking pitches from him in game 1.
Rafael Furcal leads off for the Dodgers and takes a ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. It's been a struggle at the plate for Furcal. You see what the Dodgers did when he scored a run. In regular season play, he has yet to score in this series, and he's but 2 for 16 while hitting first. And Hamels has missed with 3 in a row to start the game.
We have seen more perplexed looks from the pitchers in this series over the strike zone.
Tom Hallion has the ball and strike call tonight. And looking back at game 4, it seemed the low strike was the one that was causing Ted Barrett most consternation in this series. Another strike fills the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Very interesting, right? 3-1 pitch early in the game. Not afraid to throw that changeup when behind in the count.
From 3-0 to a strikeout.
Behind Cole Hamels defensively, they've committed 3 errors in this series. Ibanez, Victorino, and Work in the outfield. Felice has made an error. Jimmy Rollins has error-free. Utley's made 2. They both came in Los Angeles. And Ryan Howard has been great at first base. Ruiz continues to be the backbone of this team defensively.
Ronnie Belliard takes a ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Joe Torre has really shuffled his lineup a lot in the first 5 games of this series. Belliard is at 2nd, 6th, and 7th. And tonight bats in front of Andre Ethier for Los Angeles. 1 ball, 1 strike.
No one has hit well enough to maintain their spot. That's why all the shuffling.
Still surveying the strike zone with his fastball, and then confident he can always throw the changeup when he's behind.
Hit in the air toward right field, but playable for Jason Worth. And 2 are out for Andre Ethier. Hamels pitched in game 1, gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, and a couple of home runs in 5 innings and 1/3. Guys, it's been a rough postseason for Cole Hamels. His ERA a shade under 7 runs.
Well, I think the problem has been, Buck, you and I think agree that he's not been using his breaking ball a lot, so he's become a 2-pitch pitcher, which always makes it easier for the hitter. But also he's been pitching behind, just a lot of the things that he hasn't done the past couple of seasons.
And he's missed with ball 1 to each of the first 3 hitters in this first inning tonight.
And that was a first pitch curveball, just trying to see where he was with the command on that pitch.
Ripped into the seats down the right field line by Andre Ethier.
You know, if you're a left-handed pitcher and you do not use your breaking ball, then you're not going to be able to own the left-handed hitter. Left-handed hitters are 7 for 12 with a home run this postseason for Hamels, and that has been the big difference. Past seasons, he's just owned the lefties. This year, they've dictated more of the at-bats.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Second curveball in this at bat. He finds the middle of the strike zone. It's interesting. I talked to James Loney about Hamels. He said fastball, changeup predominantly, but his curveball is very good. I've always got it in my mind that he's going to throw me that hook. He just doesn't throw too many of them.
Well, he's unleashed a couple of good ones in this first inning. And now the 1-2 pitch. Fisted and foul and out of play. Ethier hit 31 homers in the regular season, drove in 106 men. And a good battle continues here in the top of the first.
Well, this crowd here tonight, they are here to celebrate. So to rain on their parade, it would behoove the Dodgers to score early and often.
But they're down to the last out here in the first.
Got good location tonight with that fastball, better than we saw early in the game out in Los Angeles. Charlie Manuel, the manager, is always really impressed when Hamels can spot his fastball. That makes hitters so aware that they've got to get the head out. That's when they become vulnerable to the changeup.
Good work by Ethier. He will see an 8th pitch in this at bat against Cole Hamels.
Ruiz and Hamels so far early in this game having a hard time getting on the right page. Ruiz has been trying to go quickly with the fastball away to Ethier, and a lot of shaking of the head by Cole Hamels so far.
Cliff Lee, Joe Blanton, new starters, talking about the pattern that Hamels is trying to establish here early in this game.
Swing and a drive hit hard deep toward right field. That ball's going to fly right out of here. What an at bat by Andre Ethier. A solo home run gives the Dodgers a first inning lead.
Ethier had a pretty good idea and a good game plan going into this game tonight against Hamels. Look for the fastball. Even when you're sitting on the changeup, it's tough to hit. So he gets a fastball here after there was a lot of confusion between Ruiz and Hamels. They decided on a down and out over fastball, and Ethier puts the Dodgers ahead.
And more trouble for Hamels against a left-hand hitter. 1-0 Dodgers for Manny Ramirez. And that ball is lined over Ryan Howard into right field. Manny Ramirez the other way, and back-to-back Dodger hits, something we also haven't seen much of offensively in this series from Los Angeles.
Well, not only back-to-back hits, but also Manny going to right field, which is always a good sign, trying to fight off that inside fastball. We'll see Hamels will try to come in inside out with that swing by Manny to right field, and when he's staying on the baseball like that, it makes him a much dangerous hitter.
Yeah, you can see that he stays in and just keeps his hands inside the baseball, fights it off. Didn't really square up on it, but got enough of it to drive it into right field.
So Matt Kemp bats with a man aboard and 2 outs. Hamels to the stretch and jumps ahead with a quick strike 1. Kemp 4 for 16 in this series, but the strikeout has been a problem for him this entire postseason. Matt has struck out 14 times in 30 at bats. And is quickly in an 0-2 count.
Well, Hamels has been saying all season long that he doesn't feel like he's that far away from making good pitches, but every time he makes a mistake, it seems like it's for a home run. Similar there to the Ethier home run here in the first.
Ruiz tries to expand the strike zone, but didn't get the call.
Well, if Hamels feels like he's getting close, he better hurry up. He's running out of starts.
Nine earned runs in 11 innings now in this postseason for Hamels as he paints the inside corner and strikes out Matt Kemp. But Andre Ethier hits a solo home run into the seats in deep right center, and the Dodgers have scored in the top of the first. Vicente Padilla to the mound. First time in this NLCS that the Dodgers have scored a first inning run. And now the Phillies will try to answer with this starting lineup brought to you by Budweiser. It's the same lineup we've seen all series long, with Jimmy Rollins leading off, Shane Victorino second, Chase Utley third. Middle of the order is Ryan Howard, Jason Worth in right field, Raul Ibanez is in left, Pedro Feliz at third base. Carlos Ruiz has had a wonderful series at the plate, and Cole Hamels pitches bats ninth against Vicente Padilla.
Padilla's won 15 games in the regular season once, 14 three times, and including this postseason, has got to the 14 mark again with Texas and the Dodgers.
And he jumps ahead of Jimmy Rollins with a called strike.
Great effort in game two of the division series. Throws 2 fastballs, curveball, cutter, and a split, and he can really work the corners, and he has been great in the postseason so far.
High fly ball hit toward Manny in left, and shy of the track. He's got it for out number 1.
And talking to the Phillies about Padilla, what they really marveled at was his command of both corners with the 2-seam fastball. Inside the left-handers, he could throw it inside the right-handers, and he could utilize that great movement and commanded the corners very effectively.
He retires Rollins on a fly to left. Now Shane Victorino bats. And again, strike 1 is the call.
Well, there's a word that baseball people use, sharp. His stuff has been very sharp the last 3 postseason starts.
And a little tapper back to the mound. Padilla makes the play and retires the Phillies center fielder. 2 up and 2 down.
Now the Dodgers defense has been great in the postseason, and Manny is in left field. They will take him out late with a lead defensively. Kemp and Ethier center and right. Blake and Furcal on the left side. Belliard started every game in this series along with James Loney on the right side, and Russell Martin has a Gold Glove to his credit. He's trying to really get Padilla settled into this game effectively.
93 defensive innings for the Dodgers without an error. And 2 plays made behind Padilla to start tonight's game, with Chase Utley in the box. 2 outs, bases empty.
You watch Utley already in this first inning, taking his time, getting in that box, trying to slow Padilla down, even in this first inning. You folks at home, don't forget, this ballpark, when it's warmer out, becomes a bastion for home runs, and Ethier's in the first might be a foretelling of what kind of game we're going to have here at Citizens Bank Park.
A very, very comfortable night. No wind to speak of as Padilla turns it loose. And now Utley ahead in the count, 3 balls, no strikes. And that's the last thing the Dodgers want, with Ryan Howard waiting the on-deck circle.
Dodger pitchers just haven't been able to get out of their own way when it comes to getting out the guys ahead of Howard.
Two-out walk brings up Ryan Howard, who has been as hot can be in this postseason.
Big hits all the way back into the Colorado series. Game-tying 2-run double in Game 4. And then the fifth inning double in Game 1. Solo shot off Padilla on a breaking ball away. And a 2-run triple in the first inning of Game 3. Then this 2-run shot again in the first inning, doing damage early in the ballgame.
Theme of this postseason for the Phillies, get me up to the plate.
That's what Ryan said in Colorado, and it worked out very well in that series clinching game. Now he's up in the first and is buzzed inside by Padilla, who, as we know, is not afraid to pitch anybody inside.
98 regular season wins for Vicente Padilla, 99 hit batters.
again, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, obviously you have to crowd Ryan Howard, and Vicente Padilla is punctuating that. Jimmy Rollins, the rest of the teammates know Padilla from when he played here. And he's always been somebody that's aggressive inside. He has no fear whatsoever.
Ryan Howard, 3 lifetime hits against Padilla, 2 of them home runs, is ahead in the count.
He knows who's behind Ryan Howard. The 3 hitters behind Ryan Howard in this series, just 4 for 41. Worth has a home run, Ibanez has a home run, but the trio behind him has not hit well. So Padilla will take his chances with Worth. Looks like he's going to pitch all around him.
So back-to-back walks with 2 outs brings up Jason Worth.
Well, not the intentional walk from the manager, but the semi-intentional walk by the starting pitcher.
Now, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out Ryan Howard can hurt you. So go ahead and take your chances with Jason Worth.
Worth is 1 for 14 in this series. A homer, 2 RBIs. But Jason has struck out 6 of his 14 at-bats and stands in with 2 on and 2 out. Dodgers by a run.
We saw it in the 3rd game of this series, 4th game of this series, I'm sorry, with Jonathan Broxton pitching around Matt Stairs. He couldn't find the strike zone, immediately hit Ruiz. A lot of times when you pitch around a hitter, it's tough for you to get back in the strike zone again.
And you have another powerful hitter in the on-deck circle, and one who hits from the left side in Raul Ibanez.
Missed with the sinking fastball.
Well, that's upside down. It should be 10 strikes, 5 balls, but struggling so far, Padilla.
No strikes, and he hasn't been able to recapture the strike zone.
Well, he snaps at that baseball, so it shows some frustration early on here. Didn't want to pitch to Howard. Now 3-0 to Worth. He only hit 36 home runs this summer.
Three balls and a strike. Rollins fly to left. Victorino tapped to the mound. Back-to-back 2-out walks to Utley and Howard. Now a 3-1 count for Jason Worth. Three and two.
Padilla does a great job of holding the ball and creating tension in the hitter at the plate. He just waits and waits and waits, and then delivers a 2-seam fastball right down the middle.
So Utley leads from second, Howard from first with 2 out. Runners go, and it's pulled foul past third.
interesting. They haven't been able to come inside on Worth in this situation yet. He got a game-winning hit in Game 4 of the division series, just serving the ball into right center.
Another 3-2. High fly ball hit well to right. Ethier back at the wall.
Himself into a quandary. He got to a point where he pitched around Howard, he got behind Worth, and every pitch was a fastball. No change of speeds against Worth. He finally sat on one on the outside part, and 36 home runs tells me he can hit one out to any part of the ballpark. He does the right field there.
This is an American League offense playing in the National League. You can make good pitches. You can pitch around one guy, and then the next guy steps up, and Jason Worth has stepped up all year long.
2 hits for Worth in this series. Both of them are home runs. And the Dodgers' lead of 1 is now a deficit of 2. As Raul Ibanez stands in and takes a called strike. Now, if you're the Dodgers, what do you do? Can you afford to pitch around Ryan Howard anymore?
I still think you have to try to pitch him inside, and I think early in that at-bat, that's what he was trying to do. Padilla was just trying to pound him inside and pull the ball well off the plate, but once he got to 3-0, he's going to walk him.
1 ball, 1 strike. And a ground ball hit towards second. Belliard makes the play. 2 out thunder by the Phillies. Utley and Howard walk. Jason Worth launches his 2nd home run of this National League Championship Series, and the Phillies lead it 3-1 after 1. Our aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. For the most sports in HD, call 1-800-DirecTV. How about the greeting for Jason Worth as he mans his right field position for the top half of this 2nd inning. A 3-run homer turns the game around for Cole Hamels now as he looks for that shutdown inning we've talked about so much in this series. And he jumps ahead of James Loney with a swinging strike 1. Loney had a couple of hits in Game 4. One of them drove in a run. That was in the 4th inning of that ball game. Also had an 8th inning infield hit. He's 5 for 14 in this LCS. And Hamels getting that breaking ball over for strikes.
Well, that's the breaking ball James Loney says that he very rarely sees from Cole Hamels, but he's going to see it. Loney homered off Cole Hamels in that Game 1.
And he hits a high fly ball to right field that Worth will turn and admire. The ball is jumping at Citizens Bank. It's a 3-2 game now as Loney leads off the 2nd with a long home run.
Same as he did in Game 1 out in Los Angeles. His first at bat against Hamels gets a fastball and hammered.
Well, you very rarely see a lot of curveballs from Hamels, and one thing you never see is back-to-back curveballs. So Loney sitting on that inside fastball really hit the spot, but Loney beat Hamels to that spot.
So Ethier and Loney with solo home runs, and again Cole Hamels having trouble with left-hand hitters in this postseason run.
Well, now it's increased to 9 for 14 with 3 home runs. The left-handed hitters against Hamels.
So a 3-2 score quiets the crowd for the moment. And the catcher, Russell Martin, is ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes.
So now you got to think 2-0. He's going to come with a changeup because that's his favorite pitch when he's behind to get him back in the count. Threw the fastball inside, had a little sail on it.
That's a little low. 3 balls and a strike. This is, Ron, as you mentioned, a very hitter-friendly place.
Well, look at all those home runs, of course, Yankee Stadium, but Citizens Bank Park, although the Phillies hit more home runs on the road this year, shows how good they are.
Deep short. Jimmy Rollins with the catcher running. And Martin is out number 1. A little surprising not to see Coors Field in that list we just showed you.
Yeah, they have a humidor that has knocked down the number of home runs that fly out in Denver. But this is a tough place to pitch. But if you keep the ball the big part of the diamond, you got a chance as a pitcher. Down the lines, as we have seen already tonight, that ball just jumps.
So Casey Blake is the Dodgers' 8th place hitter tonight. 2 for 15 in the series with 1 run batted in.
Well, I'll have to check with Hal Galima, our statistician, about this stat, but I don't think it's scientific. More opposing starters get less sleep the night before they pitch in this park during the middle of summer than anywhere in baseball.
Well, they're here at Wrigley Field when the wind's blowing out. But no wind to speak of, as we told you earlier, but a very warm late October evening. 0-2 the count to Casey Blake. Blake hit .280 in the regular season, 18 homers, 79 driven in. And pulls that ball out of play, foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Toward the hole. Feliz cuts it off and throws on the run. 2 outs after the James Loney homer, and this National League Championship Series coverage on TBS is brought to you in HD by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. And now Vicente Padilla, the Dodger pitcher, bats for the first time tonight.
That was a big home run by Loney. It was almost a statement saying, you guys had your 3-run bomb. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here all night.
If the Dodgers win this ball game, we'll have a game 6 out in Los Angeles. If the Phillies win, this series is over, and they will await the winner of the Yankees-Angels series. And now an 0-2 pitch to Padilla is just a little bit low. That ball hit off the end of the bat out toward left, and Raul Ibanez is under it. And that will retire the side. James Loney breaks out the tape measure. He hits a solo shot, and the Dodgers pull again to within a run. It's now a 3-2 game. There's your score. Craig Sager, what have you got?
Well, before going out for the bottom of the second inning, Vicente Padilla got a refresher course from Dodger pitching coach Rick Honeycutt. He reminded him, make sure your release point on the ball is on the top of the ball, not on the side. That will keep the ball from sliding in the strike zone.
A drive hit to right field. That one's going to go too. Pedro Feliz, a solo home run, and so much for the guys hitting behind Ryan Howard, struggling.
And now the Dodgers have to get somebody loose down in the bullpen. They can't fall much further behind. Just a pitch up out over the plate. And again, what Craig Sager was talking about, he's around the ball and the sinker is not sinking. It's just running along the plane of the bat.
Big reaction by Ryan Howard.
So 4-2 now. And here is the catcher, Carlos Ruiz, who's 5 for 10 in this series out of the number 8 spot in Charlie Manuel's lineup. And the Dodger bullpen is stirring. Ground ball hit out toward Belliard. And one man down.
But one of the things that Padilla will do sometimes is that he will get under the baseball, and you can see it pointing to his elbow. Like Kiefer Vicente Padilla, stand tall. You need to pitch where you have that downward plane on top of the baseball. He has not done it so far early.
Jason Worth and Pedro Feliz have hit homers. For Philadelphia, the Dodgers have solo shots from Ethier and Loney. It's a 4-2 game, and we're only in the second inning. Joe Torre told us before tonight's game, it's all hands on deck for the Dodgers. And the reason for that, obvious. If they don't win, their season's over. And now let's see if Clayton Kershaw grabs a baseball. Looks like he is going to start to warm up.
They had 2 right-handers up. One was Billingsley, a starter. And then it looks like Troncoso is also throwing. Troncoso, a reliever, can get out of the inning, and now Kershaw's got plenty of time to warm up.
Hamels is called out on strikes. First one of those for Padilla in the game. And quickly 2 outs for Jimmy Rollins.
Inside fastball, the first one that he's really thrown with any purpose so far to the pitcher, Cole Hamels. Vicente Padilla, remember, pitched that second game. It was a Friday afternoon game in Los Angeles, so he is pitching with regular rest.
And now faces Rollins, who flied out. And there's that big slow curveball that Vicente has featured so often in postseason play. This time, however, it missed to the Phillies shortstop. And now they count even at 1-1. Cole Hamels has the lead. And the Phillies, who hit 224 regular season home runs, have now hit 8 in this series against Los Angeles. Wow. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, he's thrown that slow curveball, but he hasn't mixed in very many sliders so far. Just really lots and lots of fastballs, not changing speeds. There we go.
Well,
good slider.
The Dodgers know Rollins can hit a fastball.
It doesn't matter how fast it is. What was that one off Broxton? 99?
And centered up beautifully and into the right center field gap. That won game 4 for the Phillies in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Padilla just doesn't have his good delivery tonight. He's running off the mound, and you drop your elbow, you get underneath the ball, then you try to generate velocity by a little more effort, and he's come out of his delivery.
But a nasty slider takes care of Jimmy Rollins and the Phillies in the second. But Pedro Feliz hits a line drive homer to right. And the Philadelphia Ball Club back in front by 2. This National League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by Budweiser. Here we go, 3rd inning. The ball is flying out to right. And the Phillies up 4-2 with Rafael Furcal in the batter's box and behind in the count. Furcal started this game ahead in the count 3-0 to Cole Hamels and then struck out. And has really struggled at the plate in this series. Just 2 for 17. And he golfs that ball down the left field line near the stands and out of reach for Pedro Feliz and Jimmy Rollins. And Furcal quickly down 0-2 in MLB postseason and Espanol. The live MLB postseason Spanish language feed is available via SAP.
Joe Torre was saying about Rafael Furcal, he got off to a slow start this season because he was trying to do too much. Seems like that's been kind of the same theme here in this series for Rafael.
Takes that ball the other way and Chase Utley intercepts. 1 out. Pedro Martinez, part of that masterful pitching matchup with Vicente Padilla out in Los Angeles. That was a treat for any baseball fan to watch Pedro Martinez and Padilla match pitch for pitch.
Isn't it interesting when Pedro speaks, everybody listens. You can always pick something up when he's talking about pitching, whether you're a pitcher, a catcher, or a hitter. Eric Brunt was sitting next to Paul Bacco, just listening to his every word, talking about what he does and how he likes to set things up, and watching Cole Hamels deal here tonight.
Pedro went 7 innings of 2-hit baseball, no walks and 3 strikeouts. And that was a game the Dodgers won 2-1. Couple of runs across in the 8th inning to even up that series. A pop up into shallow left center field. It's playable for Jimmy Rollins. And Belliard is retired. 2 up, 2 down for Cole Hamels. And now Andre Ethier up again. It's the lefties that have caused Hamels some trouble tonight.
Well, just a fastball from Hamels right down the middle of the plate. Down though to Ethier, but down is always worse than up when it comes to the left-handed hitters.
Ethier's shot came with 2 outs in the first inning tonight. First inning run scored by Los Angeles in this series. But Jason Worth's long ball turned the game around. 3-1 Phillies after 1. Loney and Feliz traded homers in the second. And that's where we stand at 4-2.
I was talking to Jim Thome around the cage today, and I asked him, when you're not playing and you're watching a left-handed hitter against a left-handed pitcher, what do you look for? And he said balance. If the left-handed hitter is not fooled and backing out on breaking pitches and has great balance, they're going to have a great chance to get a hit.
Yeah, as a lefty on lefty matchup, the pitcher tries to go back and forth like Hamels so effectively. Establish that you can throw inside strikes and then watch to see if the hitter is going to open up to give on that inside pitch. Then you can go down and away and get some more on the outside corner after you watch the hitter react to your inside pitches.
Now the count, 3 balls, 2 strikes with Manny Ramirez in the on deck circle. Hamels will go back to work with Ethier.
Well, he's thrown him 2 curveballs this at bat. When I watch Cole Hamels, I always think that at 3-2 he loves his changeup, but it looks like they're going with the fastball away.
And like the first inning, Ethier's got a good battle on his hands now.
Now he's stayed balanced throughout this at bat. He hasn't given on any of the pitches inside, so that allows him to protect the strike zone now. And then if Hamels makes a mistake, he can square up on it.
Hamels has set down 6 in a row after James Loney's leadoff homer in the second inning. And he leads game 5, 4-2. We approach the top of the 9 o'clock hour here in the Eastern Time Zone with Buck Martinez, Ron Darling, and Craig Sager. I'm Chip Carey. Welcome back to Game 5 of the National League Championship Series from Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies enjoy a 4-2 lead and now send Victorino, Utley, and Howard into the batter's box against Vicente Padilla. Victorino tapped back to the mound in the game's first inning. And pops that ball up, foul ground left side, playable for Casey Blake. And Victorino is out number 1. Let's check in now with Dodgers skipper Joe Torre.
Joe, it looks like Vicente Padilla's around the ball a little bit, and it's kind of flat tonight.
Yeah, he was starting to drop down. The first couple of hitters, he was fine, Buck. And then it just looked like trying to make pitches. He may have dropped down an angle. Well, hopefully it's straightened out now. It's interesting. It hasn't been the left-hand hitters that have given him issue. It's been the right-hand hitters. So hopefully we can get this thing figured out. And he has to change speeds a little bit more.
Joe, I see no panic in your hitters. They seem to be taking some good at-bats against Hamels.
Yeah, Ron, they've seen him before a couple of times. He pitched against us here when we were here earlier this year. As they say, this ball club personality-wise is fine. Again, it's going to come down, and as well as I do, it's going to come down to how well we can control their offense. And we certainly need to get a test of it right here in this inning, because I think this would be a key inning for us.
And with the likes of Victorino, Utley, and Howard coming up, you can certainly understand the sentiments of Joe Torre.
It seems like they bat about 15 times a game, doesn't it? And when the better the hitter is, the more it seems they come up in the big situations. And as good a 3 hitters you'll see in the middle of the lineup as there is in baseball.
And that's Chase Utley with a 1-1 count. Utley walked and scored ahead of the Jason Worth first inning home run. Utley on base now 25 consecutive games in the postseason, tying him with Boog Powell for the all-time record of 25 in a row. That's courtesy of the Elias Sports Bureau.
We heard Joe Torre talk a little bit about Padilla getting back on top of the ball and getting a little more downward action on his two-seam fastball. He was underneath it, pushing it to the plate early in the game, and that resulted in the ball just kind of traveling flat, not really sinking at all. Looks like he's made a pretty good adjustment in this inning.
Victorino popped out. Now Utley a 2-2 count. And that's over the inside corner. Chase Utley is struck out. 5 in a row, retired now by Vicente Padilla.
Well, we talked about it, the hitters behind Howard, 4 for 41 coming into this game. So what does Padilla do? He tries to knock him off the plate with the first 2 pitches. That second one almost hit him in the knee. Once he got to 2-0, though, he really didn't think he was going to go after him after that. In fact, a 3-0 slider to walk Howard.
And boy, this seems like a real rare scenario, does it not? Ryan Howard batting with nobody on in front of him. And the Dodgers have a big shift on defensively on the infield as Padilla gets strike 1.
And the interesting thing about this shift is Furcal stays put at shortstop, and the third baseman Casey Blake goes on the first base side of second.
And he hits it right into the teeth of that shift. Loney to the bag and makes the play unassisted. 6 up, 6 down for Vicente Padilla. He gave Joe Torre what he wanted, a 1-2-3 frame. We head to the 4th inning here in Game 5. Phillies 4, Dodgers 2, and visit TBS Hot Corner at MLB.com/TBS Hot Corner to sign up and watch live video companion coverage of this game and every NLCS game. Both pitchers have settled in nicely now. Cole Hamels has retired 6 straight, as has Vicente Padilla. And now Manny Ramirez leads things off for Los Angeles. What adjustments will Hamels make with Ramirez, who hit a home run against him out in Los Angeles?
I don't think he'll throw him 3 changeups in a row like he did in that sequence of pitches that Manny hit the home run on.
Manny hit the ball to right field cleanly for his first hit of tonight's game. That came with 2 outs in the first inning after an Andre Ethier home run. Got around inside that time, didn't he? 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's a ball he hasn't got to all series, starting to warm up to that ball inside.
And that swing was made possible by the fact he stayed to right field in his first at bat and didn't open up. He's just getting to that ball with his hands, not his body.
And maybe a good sign for the Dodgers. They need Ramirez to have a big game tonight. And he grounds that ball to short. Jimmy Rollins gobbles it up. 7 in a row retired by Cole Hamels. 1 out in the Dodger fourth. Pitching coach Rich Doobie.
Hey, Rich, Hamels seems like he's using his curveball a little more against the lefties tonight.
Well, he's trying to. It's always important to put that third speed in there, and usually he's a fastball changeup guy. But the curveball is a little bit slower than the changeup, and just trying to slow him down a little bit.
How about his command? It looks like he's got a little better command than we saw in Game 1.
Well, hopefully he's falling into a nice little rhythm here and get it going. Looney got to a pretty good fastball inside for that second home run, and they're putting a couple good passes on him. But overall, his command's been fine.
Hamels has struck out 3, hasn't walked anybody. He's sent down 7 straight, and Matt Kemp is in the batter's box. And another 0-2 count to Kemp.
The ultimate compliment paid by Charlie Manuel today in his office when we were talking to him. He said that when he was a minor league manager, he tended to push the starting pitchers. He said the greatest thing about Rich Doobie is he lets him really run the pitching during the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning, letting him know when the starting pitcher is done and start getting the bullpen ready.
A flinch by Tom Hallion, but no call. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We're on the pitch tracks. You see this pitch just inside. Good call by Tom Hallion. Isn't that invaluable, Buck, when you're a manager, to have a pitching coach that you can count on to take away a lot of that pressure for you, and a bench coach? Those two are very important.
The pitching coach-manager relationship is the most important relationship on a team. So much is centered around how well you pitch.
Broken bat ground ball again to shortstop Jimmy Rollins. Eight in a row retired by Cole Hamels. 2 outs.
Cole Hamels is getting zeroed in pretty good now, and it's been just a few breaking balls that have really kind of neutralized the Dodger hitters even more. That third speed that Rich Doobie talked about. You have the fastball up to 94 miles an hour, then the changeup and that slow curve in those 70s.
And Cole has a good fastball. He throws 92, 93, 94 mile an hour. But it's a very straight pitch. Doesn't have a lot of movement on it.
Well, he's locked in right now as James Loney greets him and slaps it out of play for a strike.
See, they're trying to get the ball up and in, and he was so quick he got to it very easily and hit it deep into the seats and right. His second home run against Hamels in this series.
Didn't get the corner, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike to the Dodger first baseman. What did Charlie Manuel say in our chat when Hamels is most effective? How many curveballs does Cole throw?
He says he throws between 10 and 15 when he's really using it, but the first game of this series he might have had 3 to 5. What you have to do as a pitcher is that you identify your best pitch as your changeup, and it's your swing and miss pitch, and we as pitchers covet what we have the most success with. But sometimes you have success with that pitch because you're using your other pitches to set that up. You can't go straight to that strength every single time.
And that's when the changeup is most effective, when you're throwing a lot of strikes with your fastball.
And a 2-out walk for Loney brings Russell Martin to the plate. Martin represents the potential tying run here in the 4th inning. So the first free pass issued by Cole Hamels, and as this lineup drifts down closer to the pitcher's spot, Joe Torre and Rick Honeycutt have some decisions to make, even though there are 2 outs.
Yeah, they're going to keep somebody ready should the pitcher's spot get up here with 2 outs and make sure you're not caught off guard.
Martin 7th on the lineup card today, grounded out to short his first time up. And Russell in his career 4 for 19 with a home run, including postseason against Cole Hamels. Popped up right side near the Phillies dugout, and no play for Ryan Howard. Chad Billingsley is the man up and loosening. He was up earlier in the game as well, so don't figure it would take Chad Billingsley long to get loose.
He gave up a couple of runs and 2+ innings in the 3rd game, but he looked very, very strong.
And I know we mentioned all hands on deck for the Dodgers in tonight's ball game. At one point, are we looking at the elimination of Clayton Kershaw, who may be called upon to pitch in Game 6 if the Dodgers force the series back to Los Angeles?
Yeah, early in this game, up until about the 6th inning, Clayton Kershaw's in play. But after that, then they would just go to their traditional relievers. This is his throw day normally, and if they do need him here early in the game and hope to get maybe 3 or 4 innings out of him, they would do that probably before the 6th. Once they get past there, then they'll turn it over to the relief corps.
Martin behind in the count, a ball, 2 strikes. Loney at first.
I shortchanged Chad Billingsley. He went 3 1/3 in that game, and 3 1/3 giving up a couple runs. You say that's not very effective, but he really pitched well considering how he struggled coming down the stretch. And he's a guy you can bring in to get some strikeouts.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Los Angeles looks to be forcing that pitch count of Hamels northward. 73 already in the game. It's only the 4th inning.
Charlie Manuel's not too anxious to go to his bullpen early in the ball game, so he'll let Hamels continue on this pace.
Well, in a series where we talk so much about the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen, it's really been the Dodgers that have struggled early, except report card is not out yet.
Martin fights off another tough pitch to keep this 4th inning at bat alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, that is what has driven up this pitch count, is that Hamels, when he's gotten ahead, has not been able to put them away. The Dodgers are taking some good at bats, fouling off some good pitches.
Popped up. And again, no play for Ryan Howard.
Ethier started this pattern early in the ball game when he fouled off several pitches before he hit the home run in the 1st. You got to grind out these at bats tonight, and they have the feeling if we can get Hamels out of this game, get into their bullpen early, we can score a bunch of runs. We haven't seen the Dodgers score a bunch of runs yet.
8th pitch of this at bat for Russell Martin. And it's popped up, shallow right field. Utley's got it tracked down. He's under it. And that'll retire the side. Loney's walk with 2 outs does no damage. Bottom of the 4th inning. Phillies by 2. 5, 6, and 7 on the Phillies lineup card coming up in the bottom of the 4th inning. And tonight's Power Performance is brought to you by the new movie Astro Boy in theaters October 23rd.
Well, some names on there make sense, other names surprising. And Mr. Ruiz has been outstanding out of that 8th hole, hasn't he?
Well, he sure has. He's done a great job, and it's a tough spot to hit in these National League lineups. To hit 8th ahead of the pitcher. When the pitcher's behind you, you don't get too many real good pitches to hit, but he's come through in this postseason.
Speaking of coming through, how about Jason Worth? A 3-run homer in the 1st inning turned this game around for the Phillies. And it went a long way to right center.
He just has so much power. We saw him hit a home run to center field. This time he stayed inside the baseball and can hit him to right also. Well, sometimes it's hard to say, but Charlie Manuel talks about Worth. He said he still has a way to go. He's going to still have room for improvement despite his career year this year.
36 homers and 99 driven in the regular season for Jason Worth. That at a .268 Phillies batting average. Can also steal a bag. He stole 20 bases with all that power.
What he's done this year is he's changed his batting stance. He's lowered his hands, and that allows him to be tension-free. Kind of stacks his body straight up over his legs, and those hands are very relaxed, and he can get to the inside fastball and stay on the breaking ball.
Like that. Worth is 2 for 2, and he leads off the 4th inning with a clean single.
Well, Chip, you talked about his ability to steal bases, ability to hit the baseball. I know it's a growing trend as we look at gold gloves in the outfield. You see this base at the left, always seem to go to 3 center fielders. Jason Worth is a gold glove outfielder in right field.
So Worth aboard leading off the 4th inning, and Raul Ibanez the batter. He bounced out to second to end the Phillies' 1st inning. Padilla back to the stretch. He had set down 6 men in a row before that Worth single. Ramon Troncoso is beginning to loosen. It'll be a very short leash in this 4th inning for Vicente Padilla. In the air, foul left side and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's Troncoso now in this situation because the pitcher's spot is due up second. So he will come in if he has to come in this inning and just finish out this inning, and then they will pinch hit for him. That's why Billingsley is not up. They need more innings out of Billingsley.
Ibanez, another home run hitting threat. Has an even count. Again, we told you the Phillies have hit 8 home runs in this National League Championship Series. Only 2 of those 8 have been solo shots. They've hit 2 2-run homers and 4 3-run homers.
Whitens was thinking about going there. A little hesitation, had to dive back in ahead of the throw.
But Padilla's strength is that he holds the baseball. Does not have a great move to first, though.
Worth really punished the Dodgers on the base paths during regular season play. And he's got a good lead here. Not going as the pitch is pulled foul past first. May 12th of this year, Worth had 4 stolen bases in a game against the Dodgers. He stole second, third, and home in the bottom of the 7th inning. Another aspect of this Philadelphia offense that may not be appreciated. Yes, they've got a lot of power, but they can really run. They stole 119 bases in the regular season, second in the National League. Not going. Pitch hit in the air, right field, pretty well struck. Ethier can't get it. That's going to bounce off the fence. Worth on his way to third. They're going to wave it. There'll be no throw. It's a double for Raul Ibanez. Worth, Ibanez, and Feliz were 4 for 41 in this series behind Ryan Howard. They have 4 hits already in tonight's game.
Ibanez gets that spinning breaking ball. You can see it didn't bite, didn't break at all, just spun out over the plate. Worth running at first base, has such good speed. He was able to keep his eye on Ethier and slow down, and once it gets past Ethier safely on the grass, that's when Worth takes off. He's got terrific speed and really eats up the ground as he comes in to score all the way from first.
Joe Torre's hope of Vicente Padilla continuing his postseason magic did not come true here tonight. He's out of this game in the 4th inning, down 5-2. Rough start for Vicente Padilla. 3 innings plus, 5 runs so far. He is out of the game. And it's time for our moments that change the game, brought to you by Viagra. And the game-changing moment, fellas, came in the 1st inning with Jason Worth in the batter's box.
Well, just a fastball down the middle. You saw that arm drop of Padilla. That ball stayed flat and power to right center for Jason Worth.
Padilla just didn't have his command tonight. He was so good locating his fastball and getting that great movement on his two-seamer. But it was a struggle tonight from the 1st inning on. He just never really got locked in with his command.
Sometimes not having a great memory is better. Padilla, who pitched for the Phillies in this ballpark, knows on these warm days when the ball is flying out, and became a little reticent to get ahead of the hitters. Ramon Troncoso in the game, 82 2/3 innings pitched. That was 2nd in the National League this year to Milwaukee's Todd Coffey.
You saw at the bottom of that graphic Troncoso's work so far in this league championship series. And Joe Torre hoping he can get out of this 4th inning, for his spot will be due 2nd when the Dodgers come up in the 5th inning of this game 5 in Philadelphia. The Phillies offense continues to roll merrily along. They have scored now 30 runs. And we're not through game 5. Here's Feliz. He homered leading off the 2nd inning. His 2nd hit of this series. And just to reiterate the point we were talking about in our open about the men hitting behind Ryan Howard. Worth, Ibanez, and Feliz were 4 for 41 at the plate in this series. They are 4 for 5 so far tonight.
Well, we had to ask Joe Torre about that approach to Ryan Howard, in that he had not walked Howard like he did Albert Pujols in the division series. He walked Pujols 3 times. He said back of that big slugger, there's some pretty good hitters, but his Dodger team had held him in check until tonight.
That's called a strike at the plate. And Feliz in disagreement. Now a 1-2 count. That's rolled toward Casey Blake, who looks the runner back and makes the throw to first for out number 1. Carlos Ruiz, the catcher, is coming up. Phillies have added a run here in the 4th inning, bottom of the 9 o'clock hour in game 5. Phillies looking good, trying to end this series and win the National League Championship and await either the Yankees or the Angels in the 2009 World Series.
Carlos Ruiz has been outstanding in the postseason. 7 RBIs from that 8th spot, 5 for 8 with runners in scoring position this postseason.
But as you guys talk, they really have tried to change the pitching pattern with Ruiz.
Yeah, they've thrown him a few more breaking balls the last couple of games, but they continue to fall behind him and allow him to sit on fastballs, and then when they throw it, he's been all over it. He has hit the fastballs hard.
Two balls, no strikes. Ibanez at second with a run-producing double. He stands there with one out. And that run belongs to Vicente Padilla.
Don't be surprised if he gets the green light right here. They're already up by 3. Charlie Manuel gave him the green light in the 5th inning in a scoreless game with 2 on. He missed the 2-0 pitch, but hit the 2-1 pitch out of the yard. Not close.
First walk for Troncoso. 2 on, 1 out, 1 in. 5-2 your score. And TBS this November, put your hands together, America. George Lopez is bringing the party back to late night. Lopez tonight, weeknights at 11, 10 Central. November 9th only on TBS.
Well, that bases loaded walk continues a bad story for the Dodgers. 22 walks in the League Championship Series. The Phillies have walked but 10.
And it goes without saying, you can't give this Philadelphia attack extra base runners. They've, as we said, hit 8 home runs, only 2 of them solo in this matchup with Los Angeles. As Cole Hamels tries to bunt and finds himself down a quick strike 1.
All hands on deck. George Sherrill already up in the 4th inning. He'll be asked to face either Utley or Howard if it gets that far.
One ball, one strike.
This is what you want to do in a bunting situation. Crowd him with a fastball, hope he jabs at it and pops it up. The fans reacted as if they were throwing at Hamels, but all Troncoso's trying to do is to get Hamels to pop it up.
Loney charging in from first as that ball well off the plate. It's now 2 balls and a strike. And now Rick Honeycutt out to settle down Troncoso.
Phillies are giving you an out here with 1 out. You ought to throw a strike, and that's what Honeycutt said. Hey, man, just throw a strike. Throw it down the middle.
Don't make this too complicated. Play pitch and catch with your catcher. Throw a strike and try to maybe make a play. Rick Honeycutt, before this series started, didn't think he'd make this many visits to the mound.
Yeah, he's worn out a path from that Dodger dugout all series long. Padilla went 3. Troncoso 2 on, 1 out, and behind the pitcher Cole Hamels. 5-2 Phillies lead. Dodgers have to win to keep the season alive.
Seen more of this in the playoffs. The head-scratching moment for Joe Torre. Pitchers that come into the game, they have to face a bunting situation. They throw a couple fastballs up. They're not offered that by the pitcher. The next thing you know, they're 3-1.
No defense for base on balls. And it's 3-1 to the pitcher. Hamels looks back, not sure about that call. Apparently he offered at the pitch. And it's now 3-2. Did he tip it? He gets the butt down, and there's only one play. Ruiz to second, Ibanez to third. Jimmy Rollins hits now with 2 out.
That's what you want to do in the National League, help yourself out, and Hamels did that at that at bat.
This is always the way Charlie's team has big innings. Bottom part of the order gets on base, set up the top part of the order. Jimmy Rollins did it in last night's game in the 9th, and he's got a chance to kick the door in right here.
Don't forget, Jimmy Rollins drove in 77 runs this year out of the leadoff spot and had a horrific slump in the month of June for this Philly ball club. And he rips that ball foul past first base for strike 1.
Game 4, Jimmy Rollins hitting with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Drills a Broxton fastball all the way to the wall. Carlos Ruiz scored the winning run all the way from first base. Rollins delivered the 2-run double in the 9th inning to erase that deficit.
That's in the air down the right field line, fouled and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Ron, we talked about the importance of Padilla pitching well in this game for obvious reasons, but pitching well as a starting rotation against the Phillies has been a huge problem for Los Angeles in the last 2 National League Championship Series.
Yeah, their starters ERA in those 2 championship series is 7.5, 7.53 in those games. And if you don't get good starting pitching in the postseason, you really have no shot.
You're playing catch up.
Oh, and 2. Eight, 9, and 1 due for Los Angeles in the top of the 5th inning. They've got to find a way to retire Rollins with nothing else coming across. And a good stop by Russell Martin. That might have saved a run. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Beautiful play by Martin Bucks. He smothers it.
Yeah, he bounces that curveball right on the plate, and you're never really sure as a catcher where that ball's going. When it hits the plate, it could skid and go down right between your legs or bounce high over your shoulder.
Wind starting to pick up ever so slightly and blow out toward right center field. And Rollins is hit by a pitch to load the bases.
You can put players in situations where you expect them to perform, but you can't perform for them. Troncoso trying to get out of this inning, gets the inside fastball, and Rollins gets hit, and Torrey's got to make yet another pitching change.
Padilla started the frame. Troncoso has issued a walk and has hit Jimmy Rollins to load the bases. Shane Victorino is coming up to hit. And the Dodgers are again in their bullpen. 4th inning, 5-2. Philadelphia leads game 5. There's your score, 5-2, bottom of the 4th inning, and aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. For the most sports in HD, call 1-800-DirecTV. George Sherrill is the 3rd pitcher of the inning for Los Angeles, and he comes on in a big mess. Bases loaded for the Phillies. A run in, 2 men out, and facing Shane Victorino.
George Sherrill's used to pitching in the 8th inning as the setup guy for the Dodgers, but right now you've got to stop this Philly rally. Try to get out of this inning and give your offense a chance to get you back in this game. But the walks, hit batters, everything is coming apart for the Dodgers pitching staff.
Well, Shane Victorino certainly in his postseason career has enjoyed hitting with the bases loaded.
Well, last year off Milwaukee's CC Sabathia. He answered the bell. And a postseason that was tough for CC last year.
That grand slam in the bottom of the second inning of Game 2 of the National League Division Series gave the Phillies a 5-1 lead. They won the game 5-2 and won the series 3-1. And grand slams were nothing unusual for the Phillies in the regular season. Ibanez, Ruiz, and Rollins are aboard for Victorino facing George Sherrill. 5-2 game, 2 out. And there's no place to put the Phillies center fielder.
Missing with the slider, Sherrill now is allowing Victorino to be ultra selective and really look for a fastball.
Martin thought that was a strike. 2-0.
Well, that's one of those pitches where the catcher sits on the inside part, has a reach across his body. It's a strike, but very rarely gets called.
Three balls and a strike from George Sherrill, who's had some control problems in this National League Championship Series against Philadelphia. Victorino was on his way to first, but now it's a full count, and everybody will be running with 2 outs.
Ball cut inside, started on the plate, worked its way in on Victorino.
Runners go, and Victorino gets hit. Ibanez scores. It's 6-2.
If you turn the Phillies lineup over and get back to the top of the order, they're going to put up a crooked number. Back-to-back hit batters, and they can beat you in so many different ways. Long ball, base on ball, stolen base. They've got all the weapons.
And now Chase Utley would love to drive the stake completely in. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 6-2 game. And Utley's 4 for 5 at the plate with runners at second or third base this postseason. And a strike from George Sherrill.
Boy, boys, at this level, on a 3-2 pitch with bases loaded with 2 outs, throwing a strike has to almost be a given. And it hasn't been for the Dodgers in this series.
In this game alone, the Dodgers have issued 3 walks. They've hit 2 batters.
They have pitched tentatively, and a bullpen that was so good all year long, even going back to Broxton facing Matt Stairs and walking him on 4 pitches in Game 4. This was supposed to be the more dominant bullpen. It hasn't proven to be the case.
One ball, 2 strikes to Chase Utley. He walked and scored in the first. That was ahead of the Jason Worth 3-run homer. Utley struck out looking in the third. Long inning for Cole Hamels on that Philly bench. Strike 3, and Utley knew it. So George Sherrill hits a batter with the bases loaded, then strikes out Chase Utley. 2 more Philly runs are across, and we head to inning number 5.
The National League Championship Series on TBS is brought to you by Verizon Wireless, America's largest 3G network, by BMW, where great ideas live on to become ultimate driving machines, by DirecTV, supercharge your new flat screen TV. No one else has all your favorite channels. And by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Casey Blake leads things off for the Dodgers in the 5th inning, and now we'll see what kind of sharpness Cole Hamels has after sitting on that Philadelphia bench during a long offensive inning in the bottom of the 4th inning. About a 26-minute rest for Cole Hamels. Ronnie, how does a pitcher stay in game shape?
I think what really helped him is that he had an at-bat that inning, and he had to lay the bunt down, so he was active, involved in the game.
Nothing wrong with that pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
There's not a starting pitcher in the National League, though, that won't take a 26-minute inning all the time when you score a couple of runs.
So Hamels leads this game 6-2. And Casey Blake pops it back into the upper deck foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Blake 2 for 16 in this series. He rolled out to Pedro Feliz, his first and only time up. There's Orlando Hudson. He will pinch hit for George Sherrill.
Yeah, it shouldn't take Hamels long to get back into the flow of pitching here, even though he had that long delay. It's not like you're pitching in July when it's 90 degrees. You go in and sit down, and then you have a chance to tighten up.
And it's not like the first night here when the weather was in the 40s. You were talking about, I don't know exactly what the temperature is, in the 60s or high 50s, and that's comfortable in the postseason.
Popped up. Chase Utley at second. And a good start for Hamels here in the top half of the 5th inning. And it will be Orlando Hudson pinch hitting for George Sherrill. And it will be Clayton Kershaw that gets the ball next for the Dodgers. Hudson started at second base 143 of the Dodgers' 162 games. Was selected by players and coaches as an all-star reserve this year. But hasn't seen much playing time in this National League Championship Series. He'll try to get on in front of Rafael Furcal, the Los Angeles leadoff man, and now the count is 2 balls and a strike.
You know, with Belliard being so hot at the end of the year and pushing Hudson to the bench, it really took away one of the weapons the Dodgers had early in the season. That was a lot of speed at the top of the lineup and ability to generate some runs.
That ball's hammered down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's out of here, and it's gone. A pinch hit home run for Orlando Hudson, a laser beam, and the Dodgers have scored their 3rd run. That got out of here in a big-time hurry.
Another high fastball from Hamels. 3 solo home runs, and that's the difference between the Phillies home runs and the Dodger home runs. The Dodgers have been solo home runs. It's a high fastball, stayed on the inside part of the plate, and Orlando Hudson keeps it fair just inside that left field foul pole.
now Furcal shows bunt. He's 2 for 18 in this series at the plate. He has struck out and he has grounded out to second. So Orlando Hudson, a pinch hit home run, quiets this crowd in Philadelphia.
Majestic home run, just wrapped around the foul pole. What a moment for Orlando Hudson. He's lost his position at second base, but gets his first postseason home run as a pinch hitter.
Pretty historic home run. The last Dodger pinch hit home run, that game 1, '88.
Frank McCourt and Tommy Lasorda hoping the Dodgers can mount a furious comeback in this game. It's now 6-3. A lot of pitches for Cole Hamels, and with that, the Philadelphia bullpen is starting to get busy.
3 runs in this ballpark is nothing.
And that one hammered foul. Buck, you made a good point. We showed and talked about the number of home runs the Phillies have hit in this series with men aboard. 6 homers for the Dodgers in this set, 5 of them solo shots.
Only Manny Ramirez has still run a home run against Hamels in game 1. The only home run that wasn't a solo shot.
And you know, he'd love to come up with a couple of his mates aboard in this 5th inning with a chance to tie this game or jump in front. 6-3 now. And for call, a 1-2 count.
How many times do you see it? Those 3 outs in the 5th inning when a starter has a big lead always seem to limp through that inning.
That's lined over third and into the left field corner. Ibanez over quickly, and Furcal on his way to second base with a 1-out double. So here come the Dodgers, as perhaps that long layoff has affected the marksmanship of Cole Hamels. A 26-minute offensive inning he had to wait out. Now a homer and a double starts to feed the middle of this Dodger order.
Well, the Furcal hit is only his 3rd hit in this series, and finally they turn the lineup over and get the leadoff guy on. And they haven't been able to bunch any runs together from the top of the order because Furcal hasn't been on base. He still hasn't scored a run in this series. And Charlie Manuel looks like he's walking out here with a purpose on his mind. He's going to make a pitching change.
So Cole Hamels was sailing merrily along through 4 innings. At one point in this game, had retired 8 men in a row. Now Charlie Manuel out to the middle of the diamond is indeed going to take Cole Hamels out of this game. So the Dodgers have Philadelphia where they want them in this ball game. They're in the bullpen.
Shows you how much respect Charlie has for the Dodgers.
We are back in Philadelphia for Game 5 of our National League Championship Series. The Dodgers have struck for their 3rd solo home run in this game. Orlando Hudson's pinch hit blast has made it a 6-3 score. And now with Rafael Furcal at second base and 1 out, Charlie Manuel is in his bullpen with left-hander Jay Happ.
Well, Jay Happ was just recently named the Sporting News Rookie of the Year. That is an award voted by his peers. in baseball. Gordon Beckham won for the Chicago White Sox, so one award early in this postseason for Jay Happ, and he was outstanding all season long. Has struggled a little in the postseason. In fact, the last time he appeared in the National League Championship Series against the Dodgers, he walked Andre Ethier with the bases loaded.
Cole Hamels can't get out of the 5th inning, and the big thing for Charlie Manuel is he doesn't want the Dodgers to gather any momentum. You can say, oh, well, he's up 3-1, he's got a lot of room to spare. You know what? You just don't know if you can cool off a team once they get hot.
And so Ronnie Belliard bats 0 for 2 in this game. Let's see how Happ fares with the first batter he faces in this top of the 5th inning.
Happ has faced, when he's come in against the Dodgers, his first 2 batters faced, he's walked them both, Thome and Ethier, both left-handed hitters. Here, facing the right-handed hitting Belliard.
And pitching out of the pen should not be a problem for Happ. Remember, he started the year for the Phillies in their bullpen. Made 12 appearances before moving into the Phillies rotation. Finished the year 12 wins, 4 losses. In 23 starts, 35 appearances, and an earned run average under 3 per game. A 3rd-round Philadelphia pick back in 2004 out of Spring Valley, Illinois. And he's thrown 3 straight balls to Ronnie Belliard with Andre Ethier waiting on deck.
Tom Hallion getting a mouthful from Charlie Manuel. You know, he has pitched out of the bullpen a lot earlier in the season, but then was really one of their main starters for such a long time. Always difficult to come in and pitch out of the stretch if that's not your forte.
Three balls and a strike to Ronnie Belliard. Ethier, then Ramirez for Los Angeles. 6-3 game. Cole Hamels out after 4 innings and 1/3 tonight.
Belliard extremely dangerous in these counts.
Looking inner half. He's looking to do some major damage. He was guessing right there, looking inner half, and got an outside pitch. Now he's just got to change his approach and try to put the ball in play.
From 3-0 to 3-2 now. And 2 men are on for Andre Ethier. Another first batter faced by Happ that earns a base on balls. That's 3 in this series. And now the tying run potentially comes to the plate for Los Angeles, and Andre Ethier already has a homer tonight.
Well, in that first inning, Cole Hamels went after him with a fastball. After he and Ruiz were in between what they wanted to throw Ethier took advantage.
And that really helps the fact that Ethier has faced a left-hander in his 2 previous at-bats, and now he gets another left-hander. So it's not much of an adjustment for him.
Also the same kind of left-hander, a guy that throws tall and straight over the top, good fastball, curveball, and changeup. Difference is that Happ's breaking ball is better than Cole Hamels, and Cole Hamels' changeup is probably better than Happ's.
And I spoke to Ethier about his reliance on scouting reports and video. He says, I don't really lean an awful lot on that. I kind of go by what I see. So you can bet he's just reminding himself of Jay Happ. He's only had 1 at bat against him, hasn't faced him an awful lot.
But Andre Ethier has had a ton of huge hits for the Dodgers all regular season long. 6 walk-off hits, 4 of those were home runs. It's not a walk-off situation, but a big one for Los Angeles. A long ball would tie this game. It's 6-3 Phillies, 2 on and 1 out. And he jumps at the first pitch and skies it to left field. It's playable for Raul Ibanez. A big second out. And now Manny Ramirez will come to the plate.
Boy, he got a pitch to hit, and he knows it, and that's why you see this reaction.
No sign of Charlie Manuel coming out as Manny's announced. Lefty-righty matchup now with Happ versus Ramirez, who singled and has grounded out tonight.
Charlie's looking after that pen. I wonder if Durbin's ready yet.
Yeah,
that might be the problem.
Yeah, he's waiting on him. He stalled until he got the okay down in the bullpen.
There he comes. And so Happ issues the walk to Belliard. Gets the fly out for Ethier, and now Manny Ramirez will face Chad Durbin, the right-hander, who's going to come out of this Philadelphia pen. Ethier had a pitch to hit, popped it up to left, and the game's still on the base pass for the Dodgers. 6-3, but with 2 outs here in the 5th inning of Game 5.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
2 on, 2 out for the Dodgers here in the top of the 5th inning. Manny Ramirez coming to the plate for Los Angeles, and he'll face right-hander Chad Durbin.
Well, Buck, these moments in the postseason, your best players have to come up big, and Ramirez is going to try to do this against Chad Durbin, the Louisiana native. An outstanding season for the Phillies. His season last year was better. Went on the disabled list in July with a right lat strain.
Yeah, got a sinking fastball. All 4 pitches, he commands the strike zone very effectively. And for me, this is Charlie Manuel's utility pitcher. He brings him in any time, more or less to say, you know what, hold your own out there until I can get something figured out a little bit later. But now Durbin has faced Manny a lot. Durbin spent a lot of time in Kansas City, American League, and he has seen Manny Ramirez and had some success. But that one number, the home run number, is the key here in this situation. Manny Ramirez, over his last 3 postseasons, hitting with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, has gone 7 for 13 with 3 homers.
And we talked at length in this series about how Manny had been struggling with the inside pitch against this Philadelphia pitching staff. Has he gotten better at swinging at that pitch in this game tonight, in your opinion?
We saw him line a ball foul on a fastball inside from Hamels. Durbin will pitch inside, but he wants to get you out away. He's got that good cut fastball.
So the big crowd in Philly nervously sitting as Manny Ramirez 1 swing away from tying this game.
I wouldn't throw him a first pitch fastball.
For call at second, Belliard at first. And Manny disagrees with strike 1. Off his foot, foul. 0-2.
What a terrific pitch from Durbin. Latent movement. That 2-seam fastball eats up Manny Ramirez.
Boy, hit that right off his left shin. Good sinking action from Durbin.
All he got was the top half of the baseball and just beat it right into that left leg.
You know when you hit your leg in the furniture at night? Times that times 1,000. That's what that feels like.
Manny walks that off. He's in a 2-strike hole with 2 outs and 2 on.
Baby Lopes in the dugout is trying to move Victorino to the gap in right center, but he is on the left field side of center.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Well, conventional wisdom would think that that was just a show pitch, a way to Manny to go back inside.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Matt Kemp waits on deck.
Manny gets better and better with each pitch he sees. Better feel for the velocity. Picks up the spin. Now he's got the release point down.
Broken bat roller, and Manny got out of the box late, and that'll cost him. What a job by Durbin to jam Manny Ramirez, and the Dodgers settle for 1 in the 5th inning. What a ball game. 6-3 is your score. The Dodgers creeping ever closer. 6-3 now, the Phillies lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. And Boys and Girls Clubs of America is the official charity of Major League Baseball, reaching more than 4 million kids worldwide. Together they create a positive place for kids. And speaking of kids, how about the moment now for young Clayton Kershaw? He's got to go right through the middle of this Philadelphia order as his Dodgers are down 3.
Who knew that his most important time to be on the mound would not be Game 1 when he's the Game 1 starter? It is right here, right now, as they need him to give a couple innings to this tired bullpen and give these Dodgers hitters a chance to get back in this game.
Now, control was a problem in his start in Game 1. He had 5 walks in the game and just never really got settled in. And Joe Torre thought that maybe he reacted a little bit to a conservative strike zone and tried to get a little bit too fine, and then fell behind, and the wheels came off for him. He pitched 4 2/3, and he gave up a 3-run home run and a 2-run double in that 5-run inning.
3 wild pitches in that effort also.
So Ryan Howard will greet him first. Howard has walked and has grounded out in tonight's ball game. And a good start for Kershaw. 95-mile-an-hour fastball taken for a strike.
This is a no game plan kind of guy. When he has this good stuff, you don't need a game plan. Just reach back and fire.
First round pick of the Dodgers in 2006. Born and lives in Dallas, Texas. Now facing Ryan Howard. And a cue shot trickling down the third base line with that shift on for Los Angeles. That nearly turned to gold for Philadelphia. Instead, it's a 1-2 count.
Well, the one thing for Kershaw in this situation is he can come out. He doesn't have to be cute. He just has to be aggressive. And we've talked about how the bullpen has been somewhat tentative throughout this series. Now Kershaw can just air it out. He's got a game under his belt. He's been out in this situation before. Now what he needs to do is just come out and trust his fastball and really challenge the Philly hitters.
What did Joe Torre say about Kershaw before the start of this series? He may get beat, but he's not afraid.
Well, he's at a position in this game that he can, very rarely happens, as a relief pitcher, he can make a statement.
He falls behind Ryan Howard. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jason Worth 2 for 2 waits on deck. Ryan Howard to start the bottom of the 5th inning. 4th walk issued by the Dodger pitching staff in tonight's game.
I thought that was a pretty good pitch by Kershaw. Just a little kind of curveball in the inner part. I was trying to explain before that if the catcher sits one way and why he doesn't get that strike on the other side of the plate, when umpires see a stretched hand of the catcher reach so far across, almost optical illusion, looks like a ball to them.
But he had a perfect look at that inside corner. He was sitting right on the corner.
That brings up Jason Worth with Howard at first base. A long 3-run homer by Jason Worth gave the Phillies a 3-1 lead in the first inning. He singled and scored ahead of Raul Ibanez's 4th inning double. And almost to the backstop, 2-0.
After Padilla had walked Howard on 4 pitches, and then Jason Worth really got a pitch up out over the plate. And that's been a familiar theme with these Philly hitters, is they have gotten so many pitches out over the middle of the plate in hitter counts, and that's when they've done all of their damage.
Well, they've been more patient. They have recognized that these Dodger pitchers are having a difficult time throwing strikes.
This meeting, in my mind, for Rick Honeycutt is just a little reminder. Hey, Clayton, we're down by 3. You got a great fastball. Pitch to the middle of the plate, and we'll take our chances. Now, whether we stay in this series or not, it's not on your shoulders. Just get out here and trust your stuff and pitch aggressively. We can come back from a 3-run deficit, but don't try to get cute. And I question that 3-2 breaking ball to Howard. Why?
And now he's behind Worth, 2-0. That catches the corner.
The biggest problem for young pitchers is they don't define themselves as others who watch them define them. You ask the Philadelphia hitters, they'd say nasty stuff. If you ask the coaches, boy, he has great potential. Until it's in your noodle as a young pitcher, you won't see the excellence.
He's 21 years old, too. 3 balls and a strike to Jason Worth. Ibanez waiting next. Worth thought that was outside. Now it's a full count. The Dodgers need an easy inning defensively. Short lead by Howard. And a 3-2 pitch strikes out Jason Worth. Nice comeback for Clayton Kershaw for out number 1.
His stuff is so good, he doesn't have to pitch to the corners, and he doesn't have to get tricky. But after that looping breaking ball and missed badly with a fastball, Honeycutt came out and said, hey, man, throw that fastball over the plate. These guys can't catch up to it, and then he makes a great pitch on the inside corner for the strikeout.
Now he's 1 ground ball away, perhaps, from getting the Dodgers out of this 5th inning. 6-3 our score, 1 on, 1 out for Ibanez. And right there, and swung through and missed.
You can never discount the age. At 21, I was trying to get hitters out in the Texas League, and I wasn't doing a great job of it, by the way. So, big stage for this young man.
And a beautiful breaking ball has Ibanez in an 0-2 count. You mentioned Stafford's from Dallas. Close friend since childhood is Matthew Stafford, the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft, now playing with the Detroit Lions. A little squibber hit out towards second. Bobbled by Belliard as he tried to feed for call, and he'll take the ball to the bag himself to force out Ryan Howard. And instead of a double play, another Philadelphia hitter is coming up here in this 5th inning.
Well, we talked about how the Dodgers have played errorless baseball, but this is kind of an error here, because although it won't go down in the books as an error, that's a ball that's got to be played, a double play that's got to be made. And the Dodgers should be back in the dugout.
And Belliard was going to flip it to Furcal, who was on the bag. He was ready to take it, and I don't know if the ball got stuck in his webbing, but it cost them an out. That was a tailor-made double play ball that they couldn't convert.
Well, that's why they always teach you, when you get that ground ball, take it out of your glove and with your bare hand shovel it to second. Looked like he was trying to shovel it, glove and all.
So Feliz is up. He's homered and grounded out. And Kershaw jumps ahead of him. No balls and a strike. cannot give the Phillies extra outs. Nasty pitch has Feliz behind 0-2 now. Clayton Kershaw, the 4th Dodger pitcher to work in tonight's game. Vicente Pedia started, gave up 6 runs. Troncoso and Sherrill, and now the young Dodger left-hander. High fly ball down the left field line. That's near the stands and into them. And Feliz will see another pitch.
As Kershaw has gotten deeper into this inning, now the curveball is a good pitch for him. He's had Feliz out in front of it, but you can see by Feliz being so aggressive, he's still thinking about that good fastball. If you're going to throw the fastball now, in my estimation, you have to throw it away from Feliz, even though he hit that high fastball off Padilla. Kershaw has a better fastball, and he can get it away from him, might be able to get him out on this pitch.
But it missed badly inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Ron, your point about being 21 years old is a very valid one. Even though he pitched in the championship series a year ago out of the bullpen, it's still tough to keep your heartbeat in control.
That ball is swung and missed. It gets away from Martin. He'll fire to first in time. And that retires Pedro Feliz. That could have been disastrous for the Dodgers, but Clayton Kershaw comes in and does his job, shuts down Philadelphia in the 5th. Kemp, Loney, and Martin coming up for the Dodgers in a 3-run game after 5. Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. For the most sports in HD, call 1-800-DirecTV. Matt Kemp leads off the Dodgers' 6th inning. Chad Durbin back out there and pumps over a quick strike. Kemp is 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out looking to end the 1st and bounced out to short in the Dodger 4th. Durbin's spot in the Philly batting order is due up 2nd when we head to the bottom of this 6th inning. As Kemp bounces one in the Los Angeles dugout to make the count a ball and 2 strikes. Kemp was such a big part of the Dodger offense in the regular season with 26 homers and 101 driven in. And fell just shy of hitting 300. He had a .297 batting average. And he rolls this ball foul at 3rd to stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Durbin does a good job of using his breaking pitches to both sides of the plate. He's also got a very good sinking fastball. He had problems with his back, as Ron mentioned, and that robbed him of his ability to get his arm on top, and that took his sink away.
And a breaking ball takes care of Matt Kemp. 16 strikeouts and 33 at-bats in this postseason has him out in the Dodgers' 6th inning. We are at the bottom of the 10 o'clock hour Eastern time with Mark Martinez, Ron Darling, and Craig Sager, Chip Carey. It's Game 5. The Phillies lead it. If they win it, they're headed to the World Series. Here's James Loney. He's homered and he has walked tonight. He's had a good run against the Phillies in this National League Championship Series, and he's behind Durbin. Strike 1.
Joe Torre told us before Game 1 that Loney's cool as a cucumber. He knew that he'd have a good series because nothing really phases him, makes him nervous. He's proven his manager right.
Grounded toward Rollins at short. A couple of steps to his right. And so far so good out of the Phillies bullpen. They faced 5 hitters. Only one of them has reached. That was a Belliard walk by Jay Happ. And now Russell Martin hits with bases clear and 2 out in the 6th.
Pretty aggressive move by Charlie Manuel to go to his bullpen in the 5th inning. Just sensed that the Dodgers were about ready to get back into the game. He goes to Jay Happ first, and he walked the first batter, but then he got Ethier out. And then he goes right to Chad Durbin, who closed out that 5th inning.
Grounded back to the mound on the very first pitch. And what a job by Chad Durbin. 4 Dodger hitters faced, 4 Dodger hitters retired.
The National League Championship Series on TBS is brought to you by the all-new Rebel T1i, now shooting in full HD video, inspired by Canon, and by Prescription Flomax.
6-3 is our score. The Phillies coming up in the bottom half of inning number 6 tonight. And yes, indeed, Phillies trying to win this game, win this series, and await the Yankees or the Angels in the 2009 World Series. Clayton Kershaw back out there for another inning of relief. He will face Carlos Ruiz to start things off. The pitcher's spot for the Phillies is due next, and Miguel Cairo has grabbed a bat. And with bat for Chad Durbin or Charlie Manuel. Six runs on 4 hits for the Phillies, 3 runs on 5 hits for the Dodgers.
Remember in game 1, Kershaw with that 2-0 pitch just missed by Ruiz, but he did not miss the 2-1 fastball. And so far in this at-bat, a lot of breaking balls and sliders to Ruiz.
But Kershaw's missed the strike zone with 3 of those pitches. 3 balls and a strike. Again, the bottom of this Philly lineup is so important for Charlie Manuel's offensive attack. And a high fly ball into right field. Ethier on the run is there, and Kershaw rallies to get Ruiz on a fly ball for out number 1. Now it is Miguel Cairo. What a job by Chad Durbin. He goes an inning and a third of spotless relief. He struck out Matt Kemp at the start of that 6th inning. So this Philadelphia bullpen, which has had its problems so far this year, has looked very, very good tonight. But still a ways to go for Miguel Cairo. Chan-Ho Park will be the next Philly pitcher.
What did you say, Buck? You put Durbin in until you figure out what to do.
And he's able to just bridge the gap, and he retired all 4 batters he faced, got out of a tough situation in the 5th, getting Manny to tap back to the mound.
Cairo bounces to for call at short. Kershaw continues his impressive work. 2 outs. And the top of the Phillies order, Jimmy Rollins.
You know what that made that move by Charlie Manuel so gutsy is that in the regular season, with your ace on the mound, winning 6-3 in the 5th inning, that move would never, ever be made. But it's made, of course, in the postseason, because every out is so important.
Now, you don't worry about hurt feelings this time of year if you're a major league manager in postseason play. And now Rollins bats. Jimmy was hit by a pitch in the 4th inning. He is 0 for 2. That ball hammered down the left field line and had the distance, but it's a foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Boy, just down and in to Jimmy. Just foul about 8 or 10 feet.
And Jimmy Rollins is hit again. Clayton Kershaw plunks Jimmy Rollins with 2 outs, and he'll make a short stroll to first base and bring up Shane Victorino.
Just got on top of this fastball here right down into the feet of Jimmy Rollins. Trying to come inside after he got to that breaking ball and hit it just foul down the left field line.
So Troncoso, Sherrill, and Kershaw have each hit a batter out of the Dodger bullpen. Victorino was hit with the bases loaded in the 4th inning. That drove home a run.
He almost got caught leaning the wrong way right there. Didn't have a very big lead, but it looked like it was kind of a one-way lead, and he was going to break towards second. Just kind of got hung up out there. It took him a long time to get into his dive.
Swing and a drive. No doubt about it.
Roll the lineup over and you give these guys an opportunity to hit with men on base, and you're going to give up some big home runs. Shane Victorino looking for a fastball and didn't miss it.
2 out, hit batter to Rollins, then worried about Rollins on first base with a chance to run and steal a base. A grooved fastball by Kershaw. 2 more runs for the Phillies.
3 more Phillies home runs hit in this game tonight. Crowd wants Victorino to take a curtain call. He does. 8-3 your score. And one of the huge differences in this series is when the Dodgers have hit their home runs, nobody's been on base. When the Phillies have gone deep, they've had an awful lot of company. The Dodgers have allowed 9 home runs in this postseason series. The last time they allowed that many was the 1953 World Series against the Yankees. The most all-time was 12 in 1956, also in the World Series against the Yankees. The Phillies led the National League in homers, led the National League in runs scored in the regular season, and they have not slowed down at all in this series. And Utley is down on strikes, and that retires the side. A hit batsman and a tape measure home run by Shane Victorino extends the Phillies lead in Game 5. Eight to 3, the Phillies are in command of Game 5. They need 9 more outs. And Chan Ho Park will face Casey Blake starting off the top of the 7th inning.
Well, he's had a couple appearances in this National League Championship Series. One very good, and the other one when he came in for Pedro Martinez, and the inning went away quickly. Bunt by Belliard that he was not able to handle. Park has done a nice job starting in the rotation because Charlie Manuel had told him in spring training, if you have a good spring training, you'll be one of our starters. He started in the rotation, really struggled, took his medicine, went out in the bullpen, and was outstanding for the Phillies.
Then he had a hamstring problem late in the year, and they sent him down to Arizona to rehab him, and sent him Clearwater and rehabbed him and got him back to form. And boy, he was great when he came in that first opportunity in Game 1.
Park misses down and away to Casey Blake. 2 balls and 2 strikes. play call.
Oh, fastball away, spotted by Park. Oh, caught plenty of the plate.
So the night is done for Clayton Kershaw. Juan Pierre will bat for him. Kershaw, a couple of innings, gave up 1 hit and 2 runs. A walk, 3 strikeouts, a hit batsman, and that long Victorino home run. Juan Pierre quickly down 0-2. A man that had such an instrumental season for the Dodger club. Of course, Manny Ramirez was suspended for 50 games. It was Juan Pierre who came on and played just magnificently for Los Angeles. And Ryan Howard takes that to the bag himself. Two quick outs for Chan Ho Park in the 7th. And here is Rafael Furcal. It was his double that chased Cole Hamels from this game. Jay Happ came on and walked Ronnie Belliard. Then got Ethier to fly out. That might be the key at bat in this game. Ethier thought he got a pitch to hit, got under it, flied out. And then Durbin came on, got Manny Ramirez on a check swing to end that 5th inning threat for the Dodgers, an inning that began with Orlando Hudson's pinch hit home run. But 3 solo homers, all the Dodger offense has been able to muster so far tonight.
And despite his double tonight, Furcal still unable to score a run in this series.
Hasn't scored a run. Hasn't been the igniter.
Fly ball center field. Victorino is there. The Phillies need 6 outs. We are back at raucous Citizens Bank Park for Game 5 of the National League Championship Series. It is all Phillies tonight. 8-3 is your score with Buck Martinez and Ron Darling. I'm Chip Carey. Welcome to our broadcast booth, and let's revisit the topics we talked about at the start of our show. First, Buck, with this Philadelphia and Dodger offense matchup. The Dodgers so far haven't been able to outslug the Philadelphia Phillies in this series, and again that showed tonight.
Yeah, it sure did, and the Phillies are hitting home runs again, and they're hitting multiple run home runs, and that's been the theme of this entire series. When you think about what they have done with the home run all year long, and Jason Wurst's 3-run home run in the 1st inning got the Phillies off and running.
So while the Phillies have played long ball with men on, Ronnie, the other topic of conversation was the need of Vicente Padilla to pitch a big ball game for Los Angeles. It didn't appear he had very good command early, went just 3 innings and allowed 6 runs to the Phillies.
Well, I think what happened is that the biggest moment of this game is that Padilla, coming into this game, decided that he was going to pitch around Ryan Howard. He had seen all the damage he had committed this entire series, decided to pitch around him on 4 pitches, to pitch to Worth, Ibanez, and Feliz were 4 for 41 coming into this ball game, and Worth took him deep for the 3-run home run. They've never looked back.
And Buck, you said this Phillies club is an American League style lineup, the way they swing the bats 1 through 8.
Well, they sure are, and they have many hitters up and down the order, but tonight the bullpen has come on and really shut down the Dodgers. The Dodgers haven't been able to get a hit off 3 relievers so far in this game.
And that was the glaring weakness, so it was thought, of this Philadelphia club. Their bullpen hasn't worked out that way tonight, as Hong-Chi Kuo comes on to pitch for Los Angeles here in the Phillies half of the 7th inning. Ryan Howard, Jason Worth, Raul Ibanez are coming up in an 8-3 game. Howard doesn't have a hit tonight, but he has walked twice and he scored once. And remember, it was back-to-back walks in the first inning by Vicente Padilla, one to Utley, and then what appeared to be a pitch around to Ryan Howard that set up the Padilla-Worth confrontation, and Worth took him out for the 3-run homer. And Kuo, a good live fastball, has Howard chasing and down in the count.
Russell Martin saw something he wasn't too pleased with, and he's going out to the mound and making sure that Kuo is okay with the set of signs they're using right now.
Ryan Howard's run of an RBI in 8 consecutive playoff games may be on the line in this at bat for Philadelphia. But he's 5 for 14 in the series, 2 homers, 8 runs driven in, and that one out of play to the left side, strike 2.
Well, Ryan Howard certainly set a theme for this series early in this series. In game 1, he came through in a big fashion in that 5-run inning, hit a 2-run double with 2 outs off of Clayton Kershaw, knocked him out of the game.
Chan-Ho Park breezed through the top of this 7th inning. Out of play again by Ryan Howard. It's amazing the job that Ryan has done against the Dodgers, who held him to a 107 batting average in the regular season.
Again, we mentioned this early in the series and how the Phillies advanced scouts have done such a great job, and Ryan Howard's got some great results because of the information that they gathered during their scouting of the Dodgers.
That's over the inside corner. Howard is down on strikes as Hong-Chi Kuo gets the Phillies leadoff man.
Well, this is that one they reach across the body, and he did get the call, Hong-Chi Kuo.
You can see where the umpire is set up over the right shoulder. He's got a great look at that inside corner.
Jason Worth has 3 hits in this series. 2 of them have left the ballpark, resulting in 5 runs driven in. A great contact to damage ratio for Jason Worth. He was 3 for 17 overall against Los Angeles in this 2009 LCS. Well, he had a good cut at that fastball, 0-2.
Well, you say to yourself, boy, the Phillies only have 5 hits. How do they score those 8 runs? 4 walks, 3 hit batters. Could have factored that into the equation, too.
7 extra base runners. And then you give this Philly lineup opportunities to hit with men on base, and they're going to do some damage.
High fly ball, left center field. Don't think anybody's getting that. They won't. A 2-homer game for Jason Worth.
Now batting for the
Jason Worth gets tremendous extension on that ball down out over the plate and drives it into the seats in center. The Phillies have now scored 21 runs on home runs.
And Worth's shots tonight, Ronnie, were to the big parts of the ballpark, right center and left center.
You know, it's not a fluke when you hit 36 home runs this season. He can hit them to all parts of the ballpark here. That was just a line shot.
A warm night, the ball carries well, and you saw the total of home runs hit in this game. 4 hit by the Phillies team, 2 of them by Jason Worth, and it's a 9-3 seventh inning score.
It doesn't matter who Joe Torre goes to, the damage just keeps coming.
And now a strike to Raul Ibanez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. If the Phillies win this game, they'll await the outcome of the Yankees-Angels game tomorrow. The Yankees have a commanding lead in that series. As Ibanez goes down swinging. And if the Yankees beat the Angels, you talk about an offensive World Series potential. Phillies and Yankees could meet in game 1. And you can catch ALCS game 5, Yankees and Angels tomorrow. That'll be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Joe Buck and Tim McCarver, and we'll be at the microphone out west.
The Phillies can stand toe-to-toe with the Yankees and trade punches. They have that kind of offense.
4 men with 30 or more home runs in the middle of this Phillies offensive lineup. And as we said, they led the National League in home runs. We know what kind of damage the Yankees have been able to inflict, not only in their home ballpark, but on the road as well. Angels still alive, but have a lot of work to do. And maybe the biggest difference for the Yankees guys in this playoff run for New York is what Alex Rodriguez is doing this year.
Well, we got to witness some of that against Minnesota, where he was so locked in against that Minnesota staff, and it's continued against the Angels.
And you know, Alex has done a great job this year just focusing on the baseball, and he's a wonderful baseball player along the lines of Ryan Howard, who can take a game over. But as we saw tonight, Howard, just like Alex Rodriguez, has plenty of help in the lineup. So if you shut them down, there are several other bats in that lineup that can beat you.
And a strikeout of Pedro Feliz, but Jason Worth's second home run of this game adds a run to the Philly total. Here we go to the top of the 8th inning. The Philly lead is very big late. This National League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by Budweiser. Things getting very exciting for the Phillies faithful here at Citizens Bank Park. A 6-run lead with 6 outs to get for back-to-back National League championships.
Chan-O Park working his 2nd inning here for the Phils.
The Phillies bullpen has had lots of problems all year long, basically from the start of the season, but now they have retired 8 straight batters. Happ, Durbin, and now Chan-O Park. The Dodgers bullpen that was supposed to be the dominant bullpen in this matchup, that hasn't played out.
Ronnie Belliard lines a 2-2 shot into left field. So a good start for the Dodgers. Need a couple of runners and a couple of long balls here in the 8th inning to get back in this game. It's 9-3. First hit of the night for Belliard. Here is Andre Ethier. Ethier hit a solo home run in the first, struck out in the third, and was extremely frustrated that he popped out in the fifth inning with 2 aboard in the Dodger fifth.
That was a pivotal at bat at that point. After Jay Happ had come into the game and walked Ronnie Belliard, Ethier was sitting on a first pitch fastball and got the pitch he was looking for and got underneath it.
Well, they had 2 shots with 2 on. Not only Ethier, but also Manny Ramirez.
It was jammed on a high tight fastball, broke his bat, was knocked backward at contact. And by the time Manny got out of the batter's box, he was an easy out for Chad Durbin. And Manny waits on deck. There's a line drive into right field. That is cut off by Worth. He'll bobble for a moment. Belliard took a look as he rounded second, but he'll make third without a play. And all of a sudden, the Dodgers threatening with first and third and nobody out, and the Phillies bullpen starts to get busy.
Not even hesitating. He's got Ryan Madson ready down in the bullpen, and Charlie Manuel pops out of the dugout. Ethier's had another good day, and he comes through with a base hit to right field. And again, Manny's got an opportunity to get the Dodgers closer in this game.
2 on with nobody out this time for Manny Ramirez. Chan Ho Park departs after an inning plus of 2-hit relief. He gets a nice ovation as the Dodgers threaten in a 9-3 8th inning game in Philly. Through the mid-70s, went to Japan where he was an MVP, the first American to win the MVP award in Japanese baseball, was a minor league manager a couple of times, the hitting coach for some of those great Indian offenses in the late 80s and mid to late 90s, managed the Indians from 2000 to 2002, won the Central Division title, and of course took over as the Phillies manager from 2005 through this 2009 season. He's won 3 Eastern titles, the World Championship this year, and considering all the adversity this Phillies club has had to endure, Buck, you managed in Major League Baseball. How hard a year has it been for Charlie Manuel?
It's been a very demanding year on him. He's had to think on his feet, make a lot of switches. Anybody that's a game away from going to the World Series, whose closer was 0-8 with 11 blown saves, has done a terrific job juggling that bullpen, and he really has managed this team very effectively all year long.
You know, he has said from the start 2005 was the toughest season because there was a lot of second guessing of Charlie and his managerial moves, but that has come 180 degrees around as he has enjoyed this season with a smile, having to do a lot of different things, different from last year when Lidge and the bullpen were almost perfect.
So Ryan Madson takes over in the 8th inning. 2 Dodgers on with nobody out. Manny Ramirez is 1 for 3 in tonight's game 5.
They have consistently beat him inside with fastballs.
In his storied career, I have never seen anyone pitch Manny Ramirez one way for an entire postseason and have it work. And they're doing it.
Ruiz somehow knocked that down. What effect of the 50-game suspension is this on Manny Ramirez in this postseason?
Well, it's hard to say, but I think for most of the season he was playing catch-up when he came back. And, you know, when you play catch-up and you don't feel like you're getting to a pitch, especially the fastball, it starts making you do some funny things. Start trying to anticipate that ball in instead of react to it in.
Again, they pitch him inside, and Manny backs away. 2 balls and a strike. Kemp, Loney, and Martin to follow for Los Angeles.
And of course, Charlie Manuel knows Manny Ramirez very well. He was his hitting instructor early in Manny's career in Cleveland and worked hard trying to give him the foundation that allowed him to become one of the most feared right-handed hitters in the game.
That missed the outside corner. 3 balls and a strike. Boy, the Dodgers need a parade of base runners and a couple of gappers and then a long ball. Down 6 runs and only 6 outs left. And the bases are loaded with nobody out. So Madsen walks Manny Ramirez. And the Dodgers have a chance for a big inning now with Matt Kemp coming to the batter's box.
Dodgers have told us all throughout this series we play 27 outs. They're down by 6. And they have performed well all year long with their backs against the wall.
It's been a long time since they've come back from a deficit this large in postseason play. As Kemp down in the count again. Boy, every time this kid comes up, Ronnie, it's 0-1, 0-2 it seems in this series with the Phillies.
Well, I think that has been his problem, and the reason for all the strikeouts is that he has been very, very aggressive. One of the reasons he has a couple home runs.
Well, you never say never. Remember last year we saw the Red Sox come back from a huge deficit with the Tampa Bay Rays. And the Dodgers do it tonight. Fly ball center field. That'll get down, and the Dodgers station to station pick up an RBI single from Matt Kemp. That's the first RBI with a runner in scoring position for Matt Kemp in this postseason, and it's now a 9-4 game and still nobody out.
And it got really quiet in a hurry here with 1 base hit. Bases loaded going right back up the middle, and Matt Kemp does a good job of not trying to do the dramatic, just getting a base hit. They've got Ryan Madsen reeling a bit here after the walk to Manny, and again it's been a walk to that pivotal first batter face that has allowed the Dodgers to get back into this situation.
So 9-4, still nobody out, and a ballpark that was very loud just a few short minutes ago has gotten very, very quiet here in the 8th.
Awful lot of concerned looks around the ballpark
For a team winning by 5 runs.
Up 3-1 in a series.
Here's James Loney. Loney homered in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, grounded out in the 6th. Ethier at 3rd, Manny at 2nd, Kemp at 1st. Popped up. Foul ground and playable. Ruiz gives way to Phillies. Loney pops up. Big first out for Ryan Madsen.
Well, what happens sometimes when you're younger player, you go out of that strike zone. Sometimes on a changeup from Madsen, cost James Loney and the Dodgers there.
A short, quick visit by the pitching coach just to help Madsen on his pitch selection. Starts him off with a changeup and gets an easy out.
Russell Martin has yet to get the ball out of the infield tonight. Phillies looking for a double play ball. Russell's knocked in 2 runs in this series. He's got 3 runners aboard with 1 out. Both bullpens are active. Good eye and a good stop. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ruiz has had a terrific series for the Phillies.
And he stayed calm in these situations. He's doing the thinking for Madsen now. He'll go to that changeup.
That ball popped down the right field line. Long run for Worth. It's in foul ground. And Martin stays alive.
Ruiz has done a great job of going back and forth with velocity with Madsen in the game. 95 tied him up. Now Martin's thinking, I got to get the head out, and that's when he becomes vulnerable to that changeup.
Struck him out.
Good fastball by Ryan Madsen. Throws this right by Russell Martin. You see enough changeups. You slow up that bat just enough to dart that outside corner.
So Casey Blake, the final Dodger hope in the 8th inning. Jim Thome has grabbed a bat. He's in the on-deck circle. And would a hit here if Blake can keep the inning alive. Blake as well has not gotten the ball out of the infield tonight. He's 0 for 3 and 2 for 18 and 1 RBI in the series.
And the end result, a demotion to that 8th slot. Here a chance to make up for time though.
Ryan Madsen, including postseason play, gave up just 1 hit all year with the bases loaded. Opponents were 1 for 13 against him. 1 ball, 1 strike. And now Blake and the Dodgers down to their last 8th inning strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count.
Ruiz delivering the pitch selection verbally to make sure that Madsen's got a clear mind and just thinks about the execution.
And Blake fights off another tough pitch.
See Casey Blake telling himself, get the ball down. Hard to do. 1-2 count.
Ruiz didn't give a sign. They had talked about what they were going to do.
You're right. When he went out there, they did a 2-pitch sequence.
Thought it was strike 3. So did Charlie Manuel.
That's a pitch they haven't been calling all night long. That ball down, away, in the corner has been a ball all night long.
Jim Thome would love a shot at the Phillies in the 8th. but Blake has to keep the inning alive.
Came with that changeup. He just barely got a piece of it. After talking to himself about making the fastball down, getting a pitch down in the zone, he just barely got a piece of that good Madsen changeup.
What a battle by Casey Blake.
This is the best fastball Madsen had in this series, consistently 95 and 96 miles an hour.
Ethier, Ramirez, and Kemp are still aboard for Los Angeles. Ground ball to short. Convenient hop. And Madsen is out of the eighth. The Phillies dodge a very big bullet in the eighth inning, maintain a big lead. 9-4 is your score as they come up in the home half of this eighth inning. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. For the most sports in HD, call 1-800-DirecTV. 8, 9, and 1 coming up for Philadelphia. And the Dodgers are again into their bullpen as Ruiz starts things off.
There's Belisario's numbers so far in the postseason. 7th pitcher used by Joe Torre in this game tonight.
Fly ball, shallow left center field. Charging hard is Kemp, and he makes a sliding catch. Beautiful play for out number 1.
Kemp did not pick up this ball right away, Buck. Got a late jump, but has the great speed to make up for a bad judgment.
Yeah, it looked like it was hit off the end of the bat. You see the big swing, and the ball doesn't carry because it's off the end of the bat, but he's got such athletic ability he could make up for a bad jump.
Matt Stairs a chance to hit in this eighth inning. And a quick strike. It's 0-1. Stairs, you might recall, came up in the 9th inning of Game 4. That was against Jonathan Broxton. And Stairs walked, then a hit batsman, and then Jimmy Rollins' 2-out heroics decided Game 4. 5-4 was the Philly final. One ball, 2 strikes to Matt Stairs. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th inning. The Dodgers will have the pitcher spot, then the top of the order. And Stairs pops it up into the center of the diamond. Russell Martin is there, kicks away the helmet, and makes the play for out number 2. The Philadelphia Phillies have a long and storied history. In 1980, they were the World Series champions, Steve Carlton and Mike Schmidt. They were also the first franchise with 10,000 losses. And last season, the Phillies won the city of Philadelphia's first championship in any sport since 1983. And how about this? Dallas Green threw out the ceremonial first pitch to Charlie Manuel. And October 21st, 1980, the Phillies clinched a championship.
You saw Larry Bowa come over and hug Dallas Green after he saw him throw out that first pitch. And the two managers, the only two managers ever to lead the Phillies to a World Series championship.
And how amazing is it that with 3 more outs, the Phillies will have a chance to defend their World Championship. In fact, only 3 National League teams have repeated as World Series champs in history. The 1907, 1908 Cubs, the 1921-1922 Giants, and the 1975-76 Cincinnati Reds.
The Big Red Machine and Charlie Manuel's Phillies, they wanted to have an opportunity to defend their World Series title. They wanted to be thought of in the same sentence with those great teams.
There's a liner into right center field again by Rollins.
Jimmy has said that it's an honor to have a chance to try to defend their World Championship. And he said he has no problem with their team being called the Little Red Machine at some point if they're able to repeat.
Well, Joe Torre's Yankees in the late 90s into 2000 had a dominant run in the American League. The Phillies are trying to establish themselves as the new Big Red Machine.
Well, it's hard to argue. Offensively, they've got all the components to go toe-to-toe with either the Yankees or the Angels.
And how about the way their bullpen has stepped it up here? And they took a beating all year long, and a lot of people were critical of their bullpen, and Brad Lidge had a forgettable season, but he's erased that to this point with a near perfect postseason.
No balls, 2 strikes to Shane Victorino, who's driven home 3 runs tonight. And that's way high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 4 more homers hit by Charlie Manuel's club in this game. And a high fly ball hit well to right. Is that one deep enough? That'll be fan interference. Victorino just missed. A line drive off the top of the fence. And that'll be scored, a double, chasing Jimmy Rollins to third with 2 outs.
Ted Barrett, the right field foul line umpire, got out there quickly and made a very quick call that the fan had reached below the fence and made contact with the ball.
You're right, Buck. A real definitive call from Ted Barrett on that hanging slider from Belisario.
You could see easily the fan with the white sleeve reached down and touched the ball, killing the ball.
Charlie Manuel coming out to talk to Tom Hallion. They have just asking him, did he see the play? I think it's very obvious and good call by Ted.
So Victorino with a double, Rollins to third, 2 outs for Chase Utley. Ronnie, you made a point during break a few moments ago. How amazing is it that on a night when Chase Utley has struck out 3 times, the Phillies have scored 9 runs.
Multiple weapons.
And count it in. 4-1.
And all good clubs have always been like that. If you don't get the job done, we'll take care of it tonight. Guys behind you pick you up.
That one gets away. Here comes Rollins. It's 10-4.
Well, just goes off Russell Martin's glove. He got a piece of it, but it was so off target he couldn't glove it. Goes all the way back to the screen. Jimmy Rollins scores. That's the 10th run. They have now scored 55 runs in 9 postseason games. That's when you're supposed to be shut down by good pitching and defense. Nobody's shut them down.
And there really hasn't been much good pitching from the Dodgers in this series. Their starters have given up 21 runs in 21 2/3 innings. And tonight, 3 hit batsmen out of the bullpen, 2 homers out of the bullpen, a wild pitch now out of the bullpen.
That's 6 wild pitches in this series. The Dodgers only had 1 complete game from their starters all season long, and their bullpen pitched the 2nd most innings in the National League. You could make an argument that the bullpen of the Los Angeles Dodgers has wilted from being tired.
Ground ball hit towards second. And that will take care of the Phillies in the bottom of the 8th inning. Philadelphia needs 3 outs to celebrate a National League championship. This National League Championship Series coverage on TBS has been presented by Budweiser. It is all Philadelphia. They need 3 outs to win back-to-back National League championships. And how ironic is this in a season which has been so difficult for Brad Lidge? A chance for him to get the final 3 outs tonight.
Well, he's been perfect in the postseason, though. And his 3 save opportunities won't be a save opportunity here, but a chance to continue his great fine pitching.
Mark Loretta will bat in the 9th inning. And 1 ball and no strikes. With 3 more outs, the Phillies will become the first National League team ever to record 16 wins over a span of 20 postseason games. The only American League team to do that is the Yankees. And they've done it 4 times. And Loretta, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's last year's hardware. The Phillies would like to add to that collection in 2009. Cole Hamels started. Lidge will try to finish. And we invite you to stay tuned tonight for Inside MLB presented by Captain Morgan. Ernie, Cal, Eck, and Boomer will bring you highlights of tonight's game, post-game reaction, all the celebratory activities at Citizens Bank Park as the Phillies lead big in Game 5.
You know, in this postseason, Brad Lidge is starting to get the bite back on his slider. And he's gained more confidence with each outing. And again, Charlie Manning's done a great job of using his bullpen, taking advantage of the opportunity, not necessarily giving Brad Lidge the entire 9th inning, just bringing him in good matchup situations.
One out. Now shortstop Rafael Furcal. He doubled in the fifth and was the final man Cole Hamels faced tonight. But Furcal 3 for 20 in the series.
We said it before, the Dodgers 51-22 in regular season, where Furcal scored a run, did not score a run in this series.
And that's just amazing. Just amazing. The job that Philadelphia did to Joe Torre's leadoff man. And again, the Dodgers hit their share of home runs. Most of them were solo shots.
Well, unlike the Phillies, they didn't get a lot of production from the bottom of their lineup. No. And with Furcal not being able to score a run, they were doomed.
You just have to give credit to the Phillies starting pitchers. They did a great job and minimized the innings that Charlie Mannion would need out of his bullpen. When you get Pedro to give you 7 and Cliff Lee gives you 8, you got a leg up on it.
Popped up and playable. 1 out to get. Ronnie Belliard will try to keep the game alive for the Dodgers. High fly ball. Victorino is there. And the Phillies are National League champions again. For the second straight year, Charlie Manuel and his Philadelphia Phillies will be heading to the World Series. Brad Lidge gets the final out, and the Phillies win convincingly in Game 5.
Well, just too much. The Phillies, they on all opportunities. Starting pitching was outstanding. Their bullpen, much maligned all year, was great. And at some point in tonight's activity, just bludgeoned the Dodgers tonight with their power.
Yeah, they sure did. And multiple run home runs were the undoing of the Dodgers. Time and time again tonight, Jason Worth, after the 4-pitch walk to Ryan Howard in the first inning, goes opposite field and set the Red Sox, the Phillies, off to where they wanted to be. Good power, good defense. This team truly has all of the weapons to repeat.
So Philadelphia advances to the World Series. Let's send it downstairs to Craig Sager.
Well, Jason, tonight the Dodgers decided they had enough of Ryan Howard. So 2 walks before you came up, first inning. You got 3 runs. What were you looking for? And then you followed up with another home run. What was it like tonight?
Yeah, you know, he threw me 3 straight balls to start the at-bat, so I was taking a couple of pitches with Raul on deck, and I knew I felt comfortable with him with 2 strikes, so I took that 2 strikes, and I got a pitch to hit, and I hammered it.
You led all Major League players last year in extra base hits in the postseason with 10. You have 6 already this season, 5 of them home runs. How are you getting around so well in these pitches, especially against the Dodgers staff?
I don't know how to explain it. I just, you know, big games, call for big times, and, you know, hopefully we can keep it going here. We got 4 more games to win.
The fact that you won it all last year, trying to win back-to-back, what's it like to try to defend a World Series title?
You know, I don't know. That's really not on our minds. You know, we're taking it, you know, 1 pitch at a time, 1 game at a time, and just and doing what we can to win games right now. And so far, it's been working.
Well, the Dodgers starting pitcher was so good coming in, but in 21 innings against you guys, they gave up 21 runs. How are you able to get to them so quickly?
I'm not sure. You know, it's a crazy game. I know we felt good about the game coming in, and we thought we had them. We thought we had them coming into the game, and, you know, we put some good swings on them because of bats, and we got them out of the game early, and we got to their bullpen.
All right, thanks a lot. With me, Brad Lidge. Brad, all year we talked about the fact that you were struggling, not like last year, 0-8 in the regular season, 11 blown saves, but in this game of baseball, it's what have you done for me lately? And lately, you've been terrific in the postseason. How'd you turn it around?
Well, I think, for one, I believe in myself, and I believe in, I think my faith in God helps me a lot get through. I mean, I really don't feel, you know, that maybe that struggles were ever going to continue. I always believed that it was going to turn around. And, you know, starting the postseason, hey, we all talked about it. Your A goes back to 0. It's a new season. And I feel very fortunate also that I think one of the biggest things is that I've started feeling really healthy at the end of the season. I feel great right now, and it's awesome to be a part of this team, and I think our bullpen just did a tremendous job tonight.
Charlie Manuel has so much faith in the way with you, the way he handled you down the stretch. What were those conversations like, and what did he mean to you?
He meant a ton to me, and, you know, he told me every time, he said, hey, you know what, you're going to get there. You're going to get back on track. I know you are. I know what you can do. Just keep grinding. You know, he knew I was battling through some injuries for a while at the beginning of the season, got out of a rhythm, got out of the loop, but he kept telling me, I know you're going to get there. I know you're going to get there, and he never took the ball away from me. Really, I mean, it was just, he was amazing for me. So, you know, I can't say anything other than he was just been great for me this year.
Philadelphia can be a tough town, particularly when you're not playing well. But yet, when you started this series, they introduced the players. You got an unbelievable standing ovation. What have these fans meant to you stacking behind you?
Well, that's another huge factor. I mean, these fans are unbelievable, and the whole year, I mean, they've been incredible. I didn't have a great year, but you know what? The fans were behind me the entire time, and that does a lot for somebody. I mean, these are great, great fans. They're very passionate. They know the game. They're smart, and man, they're intense. So playing in front of them all year really helped me throw great at home, and you know, I was able to take it on the road now, and hopefully we'll keep charging.
Thanks a lot. See you in the World Series. Let's go back upstairs to Chip.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. Indeed, it's back to the future time for the Phillies. Back-to-back National League championships. They have a shot at repeating as world champions here in 2009. Final score, Phillies 10, Dodgers 4. Congratulations to the Phillies. They are indeed the National League champions. We are back to Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia right after this.
The National League Championship Series on TBS is brought to you by the rich, creamy taste of Hass avocados. Log on to tbs.com/Hass avocados to learn more about the Hass Avocados The Big Hit Sweepstakes. By Avis, we try harder. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by BlackBerry.
It's a great night for the Phillies as we welcome you to Inside MLB, presented by Captain Morgan Postgame Show. The Phillies are the National League champions as we send it downstairs to our colleague, Ernie Johnson.
All right, Philadelphia, need your attention because we need to interrupt the celebration for a little presentation. I'm Ernie Johnson with TBS. It's been our pleasure to bring you the NLCS. Why, thank you. And David Montgomery, the general partner, president, and chief executive officer, is here, along with Ruben Amaro Jr., the general manager, and manager Charlie Manuel. And to my right is Bill Giles, the honorary National League president, to present the Warren C. Giles Trophy to the National League champions, to the Philadelphia Phillies.
David, this is a nice little habit we got going now. On behalf of my father and myself, I congratulate you, Ruben, Chuck, and all the wonderful, fantastic people that work with the Phillies. I'm presenting you with the trophy named after my father, the Warren C. Giles Trophy, in honor of the 2009 National League champion Philadelphia Phillies.
David, I know as what this city means to you, and I know what this baseball club means to you. This is the team of your childhood. And to see them accomplish this, there has not been a National League team with a chance to repeat as World Series champion since the Big Red Machine.
Ernie, my first thank you is to the 46,000 fans here today. Who give this talented team the energy to exceed expectations. To this group of guys, outstanding job, and I love the way they continue to represent our great city. Ruben, congrats on this first year of continuing and tweaking this club. Pedro says thanks for bringing him here. And last but not least, Charlie.
And we will get to Charlie in 1 second. Ruben, your first year on this job, and you're the man who brought Cliff Lee here, Pedro Martinez, Raul Ibanez, and others. You had the magic touch.
Thanks, Ernie. I love my hometown, and I love my hometown fans. Way to go, Philadelphia, you deserve this. I gotta tell you that this is an amazing group of people. These guys right here, 25 plus, probably closer to 40. What an amazing group. You guys deserve to have these group of players playing for you and representing your city.
Ruben, congratulations. All right, Skipper. It's getting to be old hat, huh? These trophy presentations.
I can get used to it.
Hey, Rhino, take us a minute. I want to thank everybody here. I want to thank the city of Philadelphia, all the fans for supporting us all year long. I want to thank Mr. Giles, Dave Montgomery, and Ruben Amaro. Ruben did a tremendous job. Of course, he says he's going to do this every year, so we'll put some heat on him. In the meantime, most of all, I want to thank my coaches. I got a great bunch of coaches. They did a tremendous job for us. And then I want to thank our players. I'm not standing here unless we didn't have some great players. Every one of them did their job. Hey, they're a great bunch of guys. They're the reason why we're celebrating here tonight along with you people. Thank all of you for coming to the games. And let me tell you, we got one more step, and we're going to get it.
And it's time now for the MVP of the NLCS. And once again, Mr. Giles, you can do the honors.
Ryan, you were awesome. You're an RBI machine. You had a great year. Congratulations, you're the MVP of the playoff.
Ryan, you beat this team last year in 5. You duplicate this time around. What was the difference between these teams? What is it that you were able to do that gives you a 5-game win in this series?
We just went out, believed in ourselves, our pitching staff, our starting pitching, bullpen. It was a total team effort all the way around. And coming back here to Philly, I think the fans gave us the edge.
Can you describe for everybody sitting here what the feeling is as you see the final out falling into Shane Victorino's glove and a long season of 162 and a couple of rounds done, what that feeling is with this team?
We got one more step, and then we got action.
Ryan, congratulations on the MVP award for the NLCS, and good luck in the World Series.
Thank you.
The National League champions, the Philadelphia Phillies. Chip.
And thank you very much, Ernie. Nice job handing out the hardware downstairs. The Philadelphia Phillies, as you just heard, fellas, one more step to take. The only question is against whom they will step. It's either the Angels or the Yankees coming out of the American League. And this Philadelphia ball club, primed all year with a great offense, Buck, got a lot of pitching and a lot of big hits against this Dodger club in their 5-game series win.
Well, I think if you look at the Phillies, I don't think they care who they play. They are in the moment, taking each pitch and each inning as they go along. And if you look at it from the pitching standpoint, maybe the key was the starting pitching of Pedro Martinez and Cliff Lee. They went deep into the ball games. Pedro 7, Cliff Lee 8 innings, which really set up that bullpen for the whole series.
When you look at this team, truly having the ability to go to a Cliff Lee and a Pedro Martinez with so much experience and so dominant to start, that really was the theme. But you have to look back to Ryan Howard, even going back to the division series, when he came off the field in the top of the 9th in Game 4 and said, "Get me to the plate, boys," and that's all I needed. And he continued that theme right here in the NLCS.
And even more impressively for the Phillies, Buck and Ron, this team has a chance to be very good for a very long period of time.
Well, they really do. They have some young players coming up. Kyle Drabek is one of their best pitching prospects. I think the key is that their youngest guys on the right side of that infield, Utley and Howard, are just, they don't have any, they have a top side to them that they still haven't reached.
Yeah, and the thing about them is they are homegrown, and that's important in this day and age where they care about one another and they want to win games for their teammates because they've grown up together.
And for guys like Pedro Martinez, who you saw in the Philadelphia locker room, celebrations like this, they never get old, do they?
Well, they don't. And think about Pedro all season long, waiting down at his home, getting no calls, and finally picking the right horse to saddle up to, because this Phillies team is very dangerous. They're going to be very difficult against whatever AL opponent they play.
Yeah, they certainly are suited to play them, Ronnie, and I think we saw the balance of their attack. Even when Ryan Howard didn't come up big in this game, it was Worth, it was Feliz, it was Victorino and Rollins, and they have balance, they have speed, they have defense, and now they have a hot bullpen all of a sudden.
Well, gentlemen, this is our last telecast of the 2009 season. Our friends at Fox will take over with the American League Championship Series and, of course, the World Series. It's been a pleasure bringing you all these games. It's been a lot of fun working with you guys. And, hey, we'll get started in spring training 2010
You bet, Chip.
as our baseball coverage here on TBS will continue. Great moments at Citizens Bank Park. Brad Lidge, fist a-pumping, gets the final out. As for the second consecutive year, the Philadelphia Phillies are champions of the National League, and they await their opponent for the 2009 World Series. 10-4 was tonight's final in Game 5 of the series. We invite you to stay tuned. More on the post-game show with Ernie Johnson, Cal Ripken Jr., Dennis Eckersley, and Boomer Wells. For Buck Martinez and Ron Darling, I'm Chip Carey. We thank you for joining us in Philadelphia, and we're back with more at Citizens Bank Park right after this.
Inside MLB, live from the site of the NLCS, is presented by Captain Morgan. There are captains in every crew, calling all captains. Drink responsibly.
I'm Ernie Johnson with TBS. It's been our pleasure to bring you the NLCS. Why, thank you. And
Hey, Ernie.
That was a special moment, wasn't it?
Don't feel bad, Ernie. They'll boo their own mom here, so don't worry about it.
I mean, to tell you, what did I say? Oh, my goodness. Anyway, congratulations to the Philadelphia Phillies, the National League champions, heading to the World Series for the second straight year, and they do it convincingly tonight. This man said at the outset of the night, Dennis Eckersley said, ball's going to be flying out of this place.
I didn't think it was going to fly out like that.
I mean, that's a no-brainer.
I'm trying to give you some help.
I'll take
here.
it, but I mean, 4 home runs. Somebody did something, I guess. Huh?
No, I do applaud you. You knew that you knew offense was going to take center stage in this game, and it certainly did.
Well, Padilla had pitched so well for the Dodgers. I don't know how many starts before he came to the playoffs, and you know what he's done the last 2 times out, especially what he did the last time out pitching against Pedro, and he came out of the box with no control, and Worth made him pay for it, right from jump start. That was the biggest hit of the night.
It almost seemed like there was a strategy to that, though. He got the first 2 outs pretty quickly, almost just like he has in the other games, and then he walked Utley, and then he pitched around Ryan Howard. I really think he did, and that big home run in the first inning really set the stage.
Let's take me through this, Jason Worth against Vicente Padilla.
Ball 1, ball 2. How about taking you through that? Ball 3. Good hitters count.
Boo to both of you, too. I could provide that analysis.
Well, he took 2 pitches. He said he was going to take 2 pitches because he felt comfortable with 2 strikes. Pulled one of his 2 seamers inside, went back out over the plate, and boom! He's got unbelievable power to right center field and center field.
You might see a lot of this stuff in the World Series, an extension of this game, to see the kind of power that they flexed this game. And Worth, he's had 5 home runs in the postseason so far. He's only had, 4 hits, but 3 of them jacks in this series.
Yeah, well, he came in hitting .071 for the series into this game, goes deep twice, also has a single, scores 3 runs. And the route was on for the Philadelphia Phillies.
It goes 3 for 4 and raises his average to 222.
From .071, yeah, not bad at all. So here are the highlights of Game 5, which turned out to be the finale.
I don't know what this pitch was, Zach. Is that like a little cutter or like a 88 wasn't his good fastball?
I don't know, it was down, but I'll tell you what, Ethier jumped on it. That's a nice way for the Dodgers to start off. Get a lead right away, 1-0.
They haven't had too many of those leads.
And this is the at-bat before the Worth home run. He didn't even want any part of Howard. He came inside several times, not even close, and we saw what happens, 3-2. This guy has got pop, right central, tall, lanky, and he can juice it.
Extension.
3 first-inning runs for the Phillies. So they're up 3-1. Let's go to the second. And more long ball, this time from Joe Torre's bunch.
And once again, you're going to see Loney, who had taken him deep the first game of the playoffs, answer back with a home run to make this 3-2, which I think is a big answer right there. Because, you know, a game you get down like that, boom, you know, you kind of drop a little bit. It's a elimination game.
And then Feliz hadn't been swinging the bat too well either, but he made this hit count. First pitch, fastball, same spot over there where Worth hit the home run, and he gets it right back.
He had been hitting .077 for the series coming into this game. Another home run for the Phillies, and then Padilla still in trouble. This is Raul Ibanez.
Now, Ibanez has been quiet this series too, but then he hits a double here to drive in Worth. Worth's got to score the old-fashioned way by hustling. Get going,
and
don't throw.
And that's it for Padilla. And then you're going to see later on in this ball game where this little guy, Victorino, he's going to get hit by this pitch.
Oh.
Hello, which is by Sherrill, who came in this game again and hit another batsman.
Boomer still here?
I think I went to the AC/DC concert, guys. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just watching baseball.
This one's all yours.
Home run.
Just another home run, little pinch hit piece from Hudson.
Well, he hadn't played too much. He's got to feel really good about getting in the game and providing some instant offense.
Dodgers' first pinch hit home run in the postseason since this one.
Oh, bring this back on. Bring it back.
Oh, my God. I thought Hey, I know I called the home run shot, but I didn't call it for myself.
This is back to tonight now.
They call that the Marvin.
Well, this is a big out for Happ, just to get the second out of this inning, because the Dodgers are trying to come back. And then
big decision by Charlie too.
To
Charlie
bring in
took
Durbin,
Cole
right?
out before the 5th inning in a 6-3 lead. He wasn't messing around today. He said, let's go right to the pen.
And then he goes to Durbin. This is a great big at bat. You see this weak swing by Ramirez, and if you'd seen the sequence in this at bat, it was a great pitching performance by Durbin. Even though it's one out, it was one of the key outs of the game.
That's Kitchen, though, isn't it?
The Kitchen. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Shane Victorino has hit a couple of balls in this series.
That's all I remember. That little guy, has he got this kind of power? This is ridiculous.
He can hit the guys that can throw 95 and up. He can hit the guys throwing 95 below, too, but he really can turn on the guys with the high speeds.
You think this game is well at hand, 8-3.
And Worth again.
No, I think these guys beamed up for the show. I can't get a word edgewise.
Well, jump in there, man. You got to bounce around.
No. Home run.
Another bridge ball.
Home run.
He said, I'm getting my average above 200 before this thing's over.
Only one place you can get insight like this. 9-4 the count. And the Dodgers trying to put a little something together there in the 8th inning.
In other words, good relief pitching by Matson. And then you see Lidge close this thing out, and his confidence is sky high going into the World Series. The bullpen did a nice job tonight, 4 2/3 innings.
10-4, good buddy. That's your final score. And the Philadelphia Phillies are on their way to the World Series to face either the Yankees or the Angels, and these celebrations becoming commonplace with the Phils as the reigning champions have a chance to defend their crown. They win it 10-4. Short time ago, Joe Torre with his post-game thoughts.
We weren't the best team this week. I don't think that's any secret. The Phillies played tough. We're learning. But you're right. I mean, I'm very proud of this group. I just told them that. You know, this losing leaves a real pit in your stomach. I'm not going to say, I can't say that the Phillies wanted it more than us, but as I said, they were better than us this week. We're getting there. We're getting there. But the way this ball club kept fighting, tonight was evidence of that again. Get behind a big number, and all of a sudden there we were again, a hitter away from the tying run. And even though that's what you're supposed to do when you play this game, continue to fight. They did a lot of things. They learned a lot this year. And the thing that was not most impressive, but what was impressive is when Ned brought in players, they opened their arms to them and, welcomed them to the team. And to me, that is a real plateau to get over, is when you understand that sometimes it takes that to win. and winning has become a priority, which is very important when you're dealing with teamwork. And I'm very proud of him.
You were the one that had the first confidence in this team 3 years ago when you announced at spring training that this was the team to beat in the National League East. You took a lot of heat nationally for that, but yet 3 division titles, now back-to-back World Series. What did you see in this team?
Just ability, but just really a lack of confidence. I mean, I know it's a word that I've been beaten, but it really was. We had talent. We had the core group of guys here that, you know, our GM at the time, Ed Wade, kept mentioning, you know, wait till the guys get up. But we really hadn't put ourselves on a mat. We hadn't put a target on ourselves or challenged ourselves, and by doing so, we've found a way to get back to the World Series back-to-back years.
What was the most difficult?
Time now for Captain K, presented by Captain Morgan. We're giving it to Chad Durbin. He faced 4 hitters, set them all down. They didn't get the ball out of the infield against him, and it came at a critical time of the game. It was only a 3-run game at that time, 6-3, and he shut them down for an inning and a third. And we want to go back to that at bat against Manny Ramirez, and we'll let the pitchers here break this one down. Eck and Boomer.
Go ahead. Oh, you want to knock yourself out. This is Manny Ramirez. You talk, he leads him off with a slider away, and then he comes in. This is a big pitch. It sets up everything. He comes inside. Manny's thinking inside. He tries to throw a high fastball away. He will not bite. Tries a slider down away, and this is the pitch. Watch this. He can't even get out of the box. This is almost embarrassing. You got all the time in the world. Throw him out. But that was a big time for Manuel to go to Durbin. You don't even think about Durbin when you think about their bullpen, but he came up clutch for Philadelphia tonight.
Oh, he absolutely did. But when you see that swing Manny took, his head was in the dugout. I mean, absolutely in the dugout. He was belling and welling right there.
He wanted to take a shower, man. He was out of there.
Why can't a hitter jump in on this one? You don't think I've been jammed like that before?
Go ahead.
I know what that feels like.
You ever put one off your shin like that? Yeah.
Absolutely, about 1,000 times.
Now, I tell you, that makes a hitter uncomfortable. When he takes one off the shin like that, I've done it, and I don't even hit, but when I did it, I felt like I was miserable. I did not want to go back out there.
Then the gout set in.
Gout, whiffs, you know, it's all there.
A lot of the Phillies have come back out on the field here at Citizens Bank Park, and the celebration continues as the Phils are heading to the World Series. We'll be back with more here on Inside MLB, presented by Captain Morgan, in just a minute.
You stinky, Jake.
Inside MLB is presented by Captain Morgan. We're back in Philadelphia, where the Phillies are celebrating the NLCS championship in 5 over the Dodgers. Ryan Howard, the NLCS MVP. And for the Dodgers, a 95-win regular season ends in the NLCS. Meantime, the Phillies, that's win number 100, regular season and postseason combined. And what do you do if you're the Dodgers? What do you have to have right now?
Well, the biggest thing is starting pitching, wouldn't you say? You see Padilla and Wolf being one of their best pitchers they had all year, and Padilla is a free agent. And so where do you go into next season with Kershaw, Billingsley, and what? You need an ace is what you need, and it's going to cost some money.
Well, it showed that they didn't have a true #1 ace. They tried to make Kershaw into the ace. He's got #1 stuff, but he just doesn't have the experience yet to put up to that. And Billingsley, you know, I was really surprised that he didn't get a chance to start, you know, because he was the all-star in the first part of the year. Then he fell off towards the end, and then everything changed. But they need some starting pitching. Their starting pitching did not perform, you know, like they had in the early part of the season in the postseason.
I don't think they're going to really do too much. I think they believe in the youth that they have with Billingsley and Kershaw. I mean, these guys showed a lot of potential this year to go out there. Yeah, it was a flip-flop season for them, but, I mean, if they can go add maybe a third guy, a solid guy, I think there. But, I mean, those two are potential ones. But if you want to go get a #1, just one guy, and then stay with those guys, I think it really will help them out, because in the long run, they got to hit, because you can't win if you don't have any runs on the board.
Well, Joe Torre said interesting. We're building something. They are building an organization that's winning. They've learned from this experience, and hopefully they'll make some moves and be back again.
Well, Loney, Ethier, and Kemp is not a bad start, and then Manny Ramirez, if he can be back to the Manny Ramirez he was really last year.
No, but in postseason, I mean, during the season, they had standout years. They had banner years for him, but in postseason, sometimes guys just get the tight booty. And that's something that they can't get. I mean, in '87, when I was with the Blue Jays, the Tigers whooped up on us. I mean, everything they did, they were low-scoring games, but that's just with good hitting that we had, it just shut them down because good pitching did that, and that's what the Philadelphia Phillies did, good pitching.
2 straight trips to the NLCS for the Dodgers. They managed but 1 victory against the Phillies in each of those series. Meantime, Craig Sager still patrolling the clubhouse, and here's his latest report.
Well, thanks, EJ. With me, Pedro Martinez. And Pedro, this team is one you joined late in the season, but now you're celebrating going to the World Series. What do you think of this Phillies team?
I think I don't have enough words to describe this team and the way they go about their business. And I'm very pleased about my decision and very happy to have been part of this team.
So many times we see you talking to the other pitchers. What have you told them, and how has this team maybe learned how to repeat as champions?
Well, about repeating, I couldn't really teach them, but a lot of the things that we spoke was about baseball. I know that my experience will probably play a big role with these guys, and so far they have executed great. Jamie does a great job also at teaching the younger players, and we're all unified to actually try to get this done.
You pitched so terrific in Game 2. After pitching so well, your thoughts about being in the World Series, being in the rotation, and getting a chance to pitch in the World Series again?
Well, that haven't been said to me, but I'm very pleased to get an opportunity, and I'm very happy if they give me the chance. Mick, here we are, Mick.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, EJ.
Pitched 7 innings of 2-hit ball. No decision in that game won by the Dodgers over the Phillies. 2-1 was Game 2, which tied the series, but the Dodgers did not win another one. They're lighting up down there on Citizens Bank Park. Victory cigars in full effect. We're back with more after this. Time to dive into the mailbag one more time. Hey guys, I guess that's directed to all of us. Who was the best big game pitcher you've ever seen? From Garrett R. from Amsterdam. Huh. Wow, the mailbag reaching all
Wonder what he's doing over there.
I don't know. Why don't you answer the first question?
Andy Pettitte.
Best big game pitcher you ever saw?
Best big game pitcher I've ever seen. I mean, this guy steps up big. He went out there, did the job. Postseason, regular season, Andy Pettitte's got my vote.
Tied with John Smoltz for the most postseason victories.
You know, I don't have a real number one, so I'd have to go with Boomer Wells. He was, he had ice in his veins. Nothing affected him out there. He just pitched the same way as he did during the regular season. Pitched well and did really well in the postseason.
Thanks, bro.
You're my big game pitcher.
Word.
Ice in his veins.
Who's
you know,
yours?
It's somebody I played with, because I watched so closely. You know, Dave Stewart pitched so well for 4 years. He won 20 games 4 years in a row and never won the Cy Young. Somebody always had a better year, but if you added all those 4 years together, this guy was, Cy Young for 4 years. But he always pitched a big game against Roger Clemens. He always got it geared up for a guy like that. If he had to win 1-0, he won 1-0. If he had to win 4-3, he won 4-3. That's the kind of pitcher he was.
And then I beat him, and he says I got lucky.
See, my game pitcher beats yours.
Right. Exactly.
Jack Morris certainly fits the bill too when you're talking about big game pitchers, and led 3 different teams to World Series titles. He is the subject of our final installment of Pride of October with Reggie Jackson.
Jack, 1984, you start a game in Chicago on 3 days rest, April 7th, and you wind up with a no-hitter. What were your thoughts that day?
I had really good stuff in the bullpen and knew that something special was going to happen. I just had a feeling about it. The funny thing about when you throw a no-hitter, you know, somewhere along the middle innings, your teammates treat you like you have the plague.
Right.
And they distance themselves. They don't. And I was never one of those guys. I was always a guy to talk some crap in the dugout all the time. You know, I wanted to involve myself. And when these guys started kind of not talking to me, I looked at my pitching coach, Roger Craig, and I go, Raj, what's going on? He goes, Jack, you got a no-hitter. And I didn't realize it. This was in the 6th inning. And I said, Raj, relax. I'm going to get it.
Got him swinging, and he has his no-hitter.
Of course, 1984 World Series, 2 complete games. And your hallmark for me was if Jack Morris starts the game, whether he's winning 5-0 or losing 5-0, he's going to be there for 9 innings. What made you stay on the mound?
A chance to win. I just, you know, I knew that I had guys that probably played better behind me than anybody else on our staff. I don't know what it is. And if you went and asked all the pitchers, all the good pitchers in all eras, why did you rise to the top? I would have to credit my teammates. I know they played better behind me. I demanded it. They knew that I was out there doing everything I could to win the game. And I think it brought them to a level where they were going to give everything they had to help me win that game. And I used to tease them. I used to shake the bat rack. My famous line throughout my whole career is, guys, get me 10. I've never lost with 10. And I came close a couple times, but I still have never lost with 10.
1991 in Minnesota was really a special season for the Twins, for yourself. Many people say one of the greatest games that was ever played in the postseason between you and John Smoltz. You hook up, you go for 10 innings, an epic performance. Can you give me your thoughts about that day?
Well, it actually started the night before. When Kirby Puckett hit the home run to win Game 6 here, I think immediately there was a calmness, a peace that came over me that I have never been able to describe properly. I've never really quite understood why it was only once in my life. But, you know, there's so many athletes that talk about being in the zone. If ever there was a game in my life where I was in the zone, it was that game in '91. I had a good night's sleep. I woke up. I remember my parents and family were in town, and my dad, we went out to breakfast, and my dad looked at me, and I could see the nervousness in his eyes. And he says, "How are you feeling today?" And I said, "Dad, relax, we're going to win." You know, I went out there with confidence, and I think I built more and more momentum as the game went by. We had a couple key plays that changed the outcome. The first to home, the first double play that Herbeck threw to home and then back to first was huge. And those things built. And quite honestly, from the 7th inning on, I was getting stronger.
There was a situation in the base running play of Lonnie Smith, a supposed foul tip that happened, and Lonnie Smith never really should have been in the situation he had where he wound up.
Lonnie was considered the GOAT by a lot of Atlanta fans, but it should have never happened. Pendleton was up.
Terry Pendleton.
Terry Pendleton was at the plate with Lonnie Smith at first base. I had 2 strikes on him. I threw a forkball, and the third base umpire calls foul tip. And Terry had missed the ball by a good 6 inches. There was no foul tip. It should have been strike 3. The situation would have changed, and Lonnie would have never ran. But as it turns out, the next pitch, Terry hits the ball in the gap, and that's when the big blunder happens where we were able to deke him a little bit between second and shortstop, and he lost the ball in the sky. The joy that we had when we circled the stadium here and waved at all the fans, and I was able to grab my 2 kids and give them a hug, and they had tears in their eyes because they were so happy that our team won. You know, those are the things that stay with you for life. And I just felt like I was the lucky guy.
Certainly want to send our thanks to Reggie Jackson. We enjoyed those pieces that he did with those Legends of the Fall, Pride of October here on TBS. Lots of Q&A still going on in Philadelphia. The Phillies heading to the World Series. We'll wrap things up after this.
Inside MLB, live from the site of the NLCS, is presented by Captain Morgan. There are captains in every crew, calling all captains. Drink responsibly.
It's time for
EJ's Nino Stat of the Night.
Sponsored by nobody.
For our finale in the Nito Stat of the Night, there happens to be something called the Baltimore Celebrity Smackdown going on. I think the Baltimore Sun may be sponsoring it. All these folks from, like Brooks Robinson is in it. He defeated Martin O'Malley in the first round. Ray Lewis beat Pat Sajak in the first round to advance to the second round. It's a popularity contest. Michael Phelps over a guy I used to work with who's an anchor in Baltimore, Vic Carter, by the way. And Cal won his first round against Scott Garceau.
Nice.
Longtime sports anchor in the Baltimore area. And
That's
so
a tough-
now Cal is in the second round against Stacy Keebler.
Ooh.
You know Stacy Keebler?
Think I don't?
Do you know Stacy Keebler?
Think I don't?
Yeah, I don't think you do.
I do.
Okay.
Who is it?
She's a wrestler.
Mighty fine woman in L.A. now.
Yeah, and that's her. Can
he has no chance.
Well, go back. Yes, obviously. Cal putting up quite a fight. And what was the score? 77% or something like that? Was it 72%? My goodness, Cal.
If you're going to lose, you might as well lose there.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look, it's been a pleasure, as always.
I really enjoyed
once
it.
again,
Enjoyed it.
Boomer, thanks, kid.
Word up,
Enjoyed it. You and me.
We survived.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for making my night easy, guys. That was awesome. Wow.
You did that all.
Drink some milk, guys.
You did that all by yourself. That's it for Inside MLB, presented by Captain Morgan. It's been our pleasure bringing you baseball's postseason once again this year and exclusive coverage of the NLCS. We leave you now with some images of this postseason. And we'll see you at the NBA set in a week.